Hey everybody, welcome to Open Panel Wednesday. Let me add myself to the chat, remove this. Hope everybody's doing great. Are y'all ready for Open Panel Wednesday? Let me turn my camera on. Running late today, guys. A busy day. Hope everybody's doing great. I'm rushing. I hope everybody's having a great day so far. My day is going great, and I'm gonna finish getting myself together. And I have a topic for you guys today. Today, I thought about talking about the topic. I have the information about, can you rebuild trust in a relationship? So I'm gonna put the link in the chat. You are welcome to click on the link and come up and copy it, put it in the chat. So I'm going to go over the information that I have. So we're talking about, is it possible to rebuild trust in a relationship? Okay. I want to know everybody's thoughts. How can you rebuild trust in a relationship? So I found some of this information on the internet. It says it's 20 tips from therapists. So the first question is, what do you guys think? Can trust be rebuilt in a relationship? Hey Joshua, how you doing? Good to see you. Happy Wednesday. And what is your thought? Can trust be rebuilt in a relationship? Say somebody does something to hurt you. Your trust is broken, or somebody lies to you. Somebody cheats on you. There's many ways that trust can be broken. Somebody does something that you're offended with. Can that trust be repaired? Okay. So how can trust be broken? Let's start there. Trust can be broken in many ways. Not following through on a promise, not taking responsibility for inexcusable behavior, withholding love and affection, lack of physical intimacy, being emotionally unavailable, addictive behaviors, drugs, alcohol, pornography, gambling, infidelity, emotional affairs, constantly being criticized by your partner or anybody, criticized, or just something that you know that it's like something that you don't want to get into, and they're always pushing your buttons. These are some of the things how trust can be broken in a relationship. So my question is, can trust be repaired in a relationship? Is it possible to rebuild trust once trust is broken? Joshua says he's good. That's great, Joshua. Happy Wednesday to you and everybody who is coming in. I hope you guys have had a good week so far. We're all the way into May, and I'm trying to decide what to do for a vacation. So we're going to talk about this topic. Y'all let me know. I want to hear in the comment section. I put the link in, anybody who wants to come up. So my personal view is, when somebody does something to break your trust, it depends on what it is. There's some things that I can forgive, being honest. There's some things I can forgive for easily. And then there's some things that I think is unforgivable. And for me, some of the things that's unforgivable is in your romantic relationship, somebody cheating on you, somebody, physical abuse, any form of physical abuse. It doesn't matter if it's the romantic partner, it's a family member, it's a friend, anybody who puts their hands on you, that's not something that can be forgiven. So I just have a few things that I'm done with somebody. I don't think that can be repaired, but I do think that there are some times where trust can be rebuilt. So I'm going to talk to you about 20 of the things, how you can repair. But here are some of the signs that you lack some trust in your relationship. They're constantly checking up on you or trying to control your behavior. This is a sign that they don't trust you and they are worried that you'll do something to hurt them. Lack of trust can be damaging to a relationship and it can lead to jealousy, insecurity, and if you're not able to trust your partner, it may be time to reconsider. So, someone, I would call that a controlling behavior. That's a sign of lack of trust, and you can't have a good relationship with anybody. It's not just romantic, in friendships, on the job, any kind of relationship that causes you that you have to have trust with them and they're always acting like they can't trust you, checking up on you, that's not good and it's not healthy. That's one of mine. Let's see, nobody said anything. Okay. So I'm going to go on to the next one. Another sign that there's a lack of trust in a relationship. They accuse you. They accuse you of being unfaithful or hiding things from them. And this can be a sign that they don't trust you, or they're not honest with you, or they don't feel confident in your relationship. Either way, it's not good, and you need to get away from those people. And everybody who's watching now in the replay, I forgot to say, can you please hit the like, because that's important for my analytics. I'd appreciate it. Another sign of lack of trust is they withdraw from you emotionally or physically. They may suddenly stop confiding in you about their thoughts. They shut down and they withdraw from you. That's a sign that something is going on and you don't deserve that. You don't deserve to be withdrawn from emotionally and physically. Another way that you can tell there's a lack of trust in the relationship, they refuse to communicate openly and honestly with you. Most of the time when people put up those barriers where they don't want to talk to you about things, they don't want to openly communicate with you, it's for a reason and it's a major red flag and it shows that they don't trust you and you also should not trust them. Okay? Another sign of lack of trust in a relationship is they are always suspicious of your motives or your actions. They're always looking like, oh, who are you going with? Who's going to be there? Anything that you say, they question it. So they already don't have trust in you, and you can't convince somebody who doesn't trust you to trust you, you know. So I just wanted to go over some of these things. So I'm going to talk about 20 ways to rebuild some trust and how to know when rebuilding trust is possible. Okay. So there are signs to look for when you are trying to rebuild trust. For example, both parties are willing to work on the relationship. See, on the other side, where you can't trust this person anymore, it's because maybe only one person is working on the relationship, and that just does not work. So, rebuilding trust in a relationship is only possible if the injured person is given time to make an informed decision and to rebuild the trust and proceed with the relationship. Most of the time, like if you get hurt by something, sometimes people will be like try to rush you for the decisions that you want to make. And nobody should rush you to get involved in the relationship again unless you got to think about things because it's about you. Hey, sis, you want to come up? Welcome. Happy Wednesday. I put the link in the chat. I think I did. If I didn't, I'll put it in again. So I just put it in again. If you want to, if you're not busy, you're more than welcome to come up. So I'm talking about rebuilding trust in the relationship. So here's another sign if rebuilding trust is possible. They make a conscious decision to forgive. So one of the things when I talk about a conscious decision to forgive, sometimes that just means like not throwing it in your face. Like people say, I forgive you. And every time something comes up, they bring it up and they throw it in your face. That's not making a decision to forgive you. And that's not good. And I can't roll with that.
Hey, sis.
Hey, how you doing?
Terrible. My peace and blessings go out to you, sis. I know this beginning of the month is terrible for you. So
Mm,
peace and blessings, hugs and kisses.
thank
But
you.
and it's also allergy season, baby. That
Yeah, it
pollen
is.
is kicking my butt.
Oh no.
It's heavy pollen.
Yeah. I know I've been itching,
Mm-hmm.
snorting my nose and yeah.
I know.
Hmm.
Ooh, look at that picture. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. Go ahead, girl.
Yeah, I've been trying to make some photos for my avatar because sometimes some of the photos don't look good, but that was a pose. I was like, yeah, I think I'm giving face in this one.
You giving everything. I would that's the ticket right there. Then you can see the formation of the earring too.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hey
my
DJ
Rasta
Ron.
earring.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, but you know, like with trust too, you have to make sure too that it's if they don't trust you is because of you, or they fake and don't trust you because is they're like really like narcissistic or something. So you're gonna have to like try to figure out where is the non before you even want to build trust with somebody. You have to make sure that person who you're dealing with, because sometimes if you're narcissistic or whatever, they would it's not the fact that they don't trust you, that's just they're gonna always find things to get narcissistic supply. So whatever you do, they're gonna go, oh, you did this because of this, and this one used to do that. So you're going it's like a game, it's like a puzzle, but you have to put that puzzle together because you're never gonna make them trust you. You're never gonna make them, uh do anything. And then, is it because you don't trust? Are you jealous? Are you envious? Like what's the problem?
Yeah. Or do you have some mental illness?
Yeah, that too. Exactly. So it's a lot of as the older you get, you learn that it's a lot of more tricks and turns. Boy, it's not things are not simple. It's not like, oh, well, he's just jealous or he just don't trust nobody because he got his heart broke. It's not just that simple no more.
No, it's very complicated.
Hmm.
So you were saying about narcissistic. How really can people even know if a person is narcissistic?
Well, usually narcissistic means you have no sympathy, you have no empathy, and like they have like a false self. Like usually, not everybody, but like usually in the beginning, they are like the best partner ever. It's
Okay.
like that's like as they call it, the Prince Charming. The first stage is like the Prince Charming or the Princess Charming. That's when that's why nobody like if somebody spotted, you would never believe them because they there for everything. They're your shoulder to cry on. They're helping you out. Like they're the best stepdad or the best stepmom, or they like the best,
Hmm.
right? And then you go into like the honeymoon phase, whereas now they Prince Charming and you're in a honeymoon phase. So
Hmm.
that's why sometimes they keep that mask on a long time until they finally get you. That's why I tell women, stop saying that, oh, you strong and you can't get done. Yes, you can, because that Prince Charming stage, for some reason, they pop in like when you're going through hard times.
Oh, yes, that is. I was just saying something just like that to one of my girlfriends. That it's like they know, like especially if you're going through like a tough time, those narcissists know just when to come and target you.
Hmm. It's like they know maybe they could, because see, people they don't want to accept the fact that they are empaths also. They're
Mm.
just the remember you have two sides to every coin. So people don't want to say it. They are empath. They just a negative empath, but they still pick up on stuff, feel stuff, and know stuff the same way a regular positive empathic person will be. That's why they know these things, and they the ones. Oh, you know, let's just go out and let's just forget about it. Or they'd be the ones to, oh my God, he sent roses to my job. I didn't even expect this little girl. It's like the more you happy about a man, in the beginning, that should make you think, I'm too happy.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say it, but it's true. Like, you're not supposed to be too happy in the beginning. You're supposed to be learning each other and talking and stuff, not just so happy. And that's why it's so hard. That's is what keep a lot of women in the loop of staying after the mask come off, because they're waiting for that Prince Charming to come back because they seen it. They don't know it's never coming
Oh,
back.
that's something that they did just to get you in their vice,
Right, but
in their trap.
in the person's mind who's with the narcissistic person, they're stuck in that loop because, remember, we don't know how long they keep their mask on. They keep some of them, depending on how strong you are as a woman, is how long they would use that mask to break you. So once
Mhm.
they break you and then the mask come off, then they're still waiting for Prince Charming to come back, but they don't know Prince Charming is never coming back. But a lot of women, they're like, I know it's seeing you. You heard a lot of women say, oh, I know it's seeing you, and he used to be like this, and or they're conversating with the narcissist. Well, remember when we used to, a lot of time they don't even remember themselves because they had the mask on. But they keep throwing back these old memories instead of what's going on in front of them and what abuse they're going through. They keep in their mind thinking of the old memories and how it was good and picked me up from work and bought me the bags or whatever.
Mhm.
And they're waiting, and that person they don't know. And the next thing you know, you're left with nothing. You're broken down and you're left with nothing. Your life is now hell.
Yeah, that's the thing that gets most people because they're a master of disguise. That's what they do. I feel like it's not good to say, but it is what it is. That's their talent. They're talented at, deceiving people. That's what they do. And if you see them, oh, they're so nice and kind, and they bought me things and they did this and they're so sweet to you, and then one day all of that goes away because that's not really who they are.
Yeah, the mask is gonna fall off. But I just, for a lot of women, you can't, like I said, I don't know how they, especially too. Don't forget, we also got the other pieces with the gaslighting and the love
Mhm.
bombing and all that other stuff.
And
So,
the catfishing.
well, the catfishing, and well, it's like I said, there's a lot of different parts to it because then they have to find the flying monkeys. They
Mhm.
got to figure out who's going to be the flying monkey, who I'm going to have on my side to get the spy on this person. It's a game, baby, and they finesse it. They work it to the T, and then they don't tell you a lot about themselves. Most of it is lies anyway. But the lies that they decide to tell you, they don't tell you all the lies. So when you're ready to leave, they'll tell you a new story to pull you back in.
Mm. Wow.
Right.
So
So
so what are some of the stories that they'll say to pull people in? I like to, get into, because some people say, "Oh no, I wouldn't be deceived," you know.
that is the biggest lie, and I keep telling women, you keep fooling yourself. Because remember, when you meet him, he is Prince Charming. And they don't stop until your barriers are broke, or now you have his baby, or now you moved into a house. Now y'all have houses and stuff together. That's why some marriages, when especially like a lot of rich people, it's horrible. They don't they know you know how many women you ever go, I lost everything because of him. That's what the strong ones say. I lost them, the ones who lose everything. So, like, but far as like the stories, what they do is being that they make it up because they mimic stuff. So they're very good at mimicking like people's stories, their emotions, and how they felt. So a lot of time when they're lying, it depends on whatever the situation, and it might have to be similar to why you're ready to leave them. So, oh yeah, my mother used to keep me in the closet, or she didn't feed me for days, and nobody never liked me, and like my whole family hated. And you're the only one who sees me, see the real me, and love me for me. I don't know what I would do without you.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you can make up, but remember, they studied you to the T. So they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna make up stories that goes to your feelings and your emotions. Because some things I might not go for.
Mm-hmm.
Some things you may go for. So everything is individually for the individual person, depending on what they'll go for.
Oh my God. That's something that, okay, you know how like you always think that, oh, that can never be me. I could never be played. But I'm telling you, it's happened to me before. I got played like that from these gaslighters. It
Oh,
happened to me.
well, I'm not gonna say played because we just happen to be with a narcissistic person, but we didn't get played. Please take that out your vocabulary and never say it again.
Okay.
Because
Wow.
remember, you didn't meet the person, you didn't meet that person, so you didn't get played. And like it happens to everybody. It happens as part of life. But I would don't be like played, because that would make it seem like you wasn't on your P's and Q's, but you just didn't know who you was dealing with, like the rest of us.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't know what I was dealing with. It's like they make themselves seem like they're one way when they're around their friends and everybody else, but when it's just you and them, it's like, who is this person that I'm with? You don't
I
even
mean,
know who they are. You'd be like, well, what happened to, oh, no, we're at home now. And then I was like, oh, no. Mm-mm.
that'll be like more like the covert narcissistic person. Them are the ones, that's the ones you see in church, that's the ones you see in Bible study, that's the ones who's helping old ladies across the street. Again,
Mm-hmm.
Prince Charming, right?
Yep.
That's why anytime you see somebody do too much Prince Charming like things, that's a red flag. you know,
Mm-hmm.
Unless you knew them since they was young and they was always like that, that might be a
Yeah.
little different. But if they do too much Prince Charming things, but one thing about a narcissistic person, they still need their supply. And like when they need their supply, baby, they eyes turn pitch black. So everybody needs their supplies at different times. Like some narcissists, they need that supply like every 4 days. They may have to just like blow up. Then they turn right
Mm.
back to regular people. And it's like they do so much, and then they make up stuff, and then you have to constantly answer for questions that you that you would never normally like figure like somebody will ask you. Then they'll take that one little question and turn that one question that they asked you and that one answer that you gave them, they could turn that to a whole hour or two, up to 8 hours.
Wow. Yeah, it's like you give them fuel or ammunition to use against you later. They're just always trying to find out
No,
what can they do
they
to
could
do
be like,
something to you.
no, it could be like simple as you went to the store. Yes, I went to the store. What did you buy? Well, I bought ice cream. What flavor did you buy? I bought vanilla. Well, you usually don't buy vanilla. I'm just saying, why would you pick vanilla this time when you usually buy strawberry? Well, they didn't have no strawberry, but I also eat vanilla. But if you don't usually eat vanilla. I'm just saying, why didn't you just go to the next store? You know what I'm saying? How they can turn that one thing to 8 hours.
Yeah, they turn everything into a big deal.
And you be like, goodness gracious, it makes you feel like I would never eat ice cream. By the time it's over, you would never want to eat ice cream again.
Yeah, that's
Every time,
crazy.
every time you think of ice cream, you're gonna say, "Oh Lordy, I don't want it no more. I don't want ice
Because you
cream."
don't know what they're gonna say. They're gonna say something to start something with you.
No, because of that argument stuck with you. So you're gonna be
Oh,
thinking about that every time you see ice cream. You're gonna replay that argument in your head. So now you're now turned off to it.
oh, I see. I see. Yeah. I get that because I was in a relationship and that guy, like, he always was like about these pickles, and like till this day, like, I don't even want to touch no pickles.
Hmm. Or it could be like a favorite song that was once your favorite song. But now they
Mhm.
done started an argument. I'm in your mind. I never, cause that's their job to make you all your likes. They make you never want to like it again. That's part of the takedown, and it's just so subtle like that. And people like, oh, they wouldn't do it to me. But them are simple questions.
Mhm.
Why, ice cream? You went to the store, like, why did you wear red today? So people don't know. All the strong people don't know that these are not hard questions. These are simple questions. And then as they turn it up, then now you're going to defend yourself, and now you're arguing with them. Like, why would you ask me some dumb question like that? They got you.
Yep.
Because then they're going to argue back. Well, you better watch your tone when you talking to me. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on the person.
Yeah. It depends on the person and what they're willing to do. And next thing you know, they done put their hands on you.
Exactly. Next thing you know, either they're going to get you mentally or physically, and then you don't even know you're in a physical relationship with not mental but physical. You're in both actually.
Yeah,
That's
you
why I tell
both.
people, because that strong woman like, well, if you don't like it, we get out my house. And like, if you go, and it all started from, did you go to the store today? It starts from there. The next, the whole house tore up.
Mm.
Police call.
Yeah,
So
all from some ice cream.
exactly.
And say, what happened? I just wanted some ice cream,
I
sir.
just bought vanilla. They just because they didn't have strawberry lawn. Oh God.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And
Yeah.
then they work on your being that they're your knight in shining armor in your mind, and they're your prince charming in your mind. They start to take up so much of your time, which is another red flag, that you forget about like your girlfriends and stuff like that. In the beginning, you're not going to know they're alienating you from them
Mhm.
because all you know is they like to do a lot of stuff with you.
Yep. They don't want you to go out by yourself because
No,
they
that
always think they're
no,
going to
that
lose you to somebody
no,
else.
not in the beginning. This is the Prince Charming phrase. And the
Oh,
Prince and the
okay.
Prince Charming phrase, they want to do all these things with you.
Mm.
That's why women always be like, well, they had so much time for me before when we first met. Like, what happened? That was to get you. Like, so you and your girlfriends don't go out. Like, they'll probably buy movie tickets or whatever that you would like to do. Because they remember you don't told them everything in the courting stage. So they know what you like, what you don't like. So
Mhm.
they're being the supply of all the things that you like. But you not knowing that's really to get you away from your friends. Because, of course, your friends should understand, well, they got a new man now and they in a relationship, so they start to back up.
Right. And that's
Right.
just where they want you to, that's just
Right.
what they want to happen.
And you don't know the difference because you're going out having fun all the time with this man. It's like you and me, we Bonnie and Clyde. And
Mm.
then once the match starts to drop, and then let's say that friend want to call or something, and then the friend be like, well, wow, I ain't hear from you in a while or something. That's going to set that narcissistic person off. Now that person has to go.
Yep.
So now, either some of them go as far as to make passes and do things just because they know you're going to pick their side and not your friend's side. Because men know
Um,
women always go, they always take the man's side. Like, as soon as you hear your boyfriend or something cheating, the first thing you want to do is find the woman. The man right there who cheated, but the main thing you want to do is find the woman. So they know this already. So then it's if you and your parents are close, then they'll start alienate. They're gonna make sure you don't have nobody to go to. That's why I tell people, if you suspect that your friend is with a narcissistic person, you now have to be like one of them hearing their friends
mhm.
without them knowing what you doing. Like you got to be the one that's always like neutral and hey, how you doing? So if you, when I mean like if you go on the phone, make sure it's short and sweet.
Yeah,
Make
you don't
sure
stick around too long to not raise any flags with that narcissistic person.
right, but you also have to like be the one like to like drive by. Don't let your friend know. Just listen to the door, or check the windows to see if
Mhm.
there's any fighting. Or that's something a friend have to do on their own. Because a
Yeah.
lot of friends, they'll just cut their friends off, but they don't know how to protect the friend.
Oh,
And
yeah.
now, right? So now it's bad enough. You probably done told the man all your friend business anyway. That's why I've never in relationships. I've never discussed anybody but me.
Yeah,
Like
you don't tell them. And another thing that I see a lot of times that women do that is not good is they know where the guy knows where all the friends live. So if you even try to leave and go somewhere, you can't get out because they know where you are.
I tell another thing I tell women, if you are in a relationship, find the oldest person you know. That should be your best friend.
Mm.
So because they already know, they can smell it. They'll be the ones to protect you without you knowing.
Mhm.
And what he gonna do? Ladies also, of course, when the old lady, hey baby, how you doing? You looking all good today. And narcissistic. Oh, thank you, Miss Such and Such. Well, cause such and such on going to the store for me. Or you know what? I ain't got nothing to eat. If you're cooking tonight, can she bring me something else? See, these are little things old people will know how to do to just to check you and make sure you good. And then that's the person you would leave certain things with.
Oh, I see. See, you teaching me some stuff, and I'm sure somebody else too. I never even would think of something like that.
Cause they like 70, 80 years old. They don't seen it all. So that'll be the one you will say, well, in case of this, in case of that, and that will be the place where you will stash your money or whatever
Mhm.
you need to stash.
Mhm. Or
So
start preparing to leave them, like start bringing some of your stuff little by little at the house.
right, and remember when the narcissistic, unless she mess up, if she don't mess up, he will not know because all he sees is a little old lady. Then she gonna always joke and stuff with him anyway. Hey, look at you. Oh, you such a good man. Every woman should have a good man like you. She's gonna be just as false and fake as
That's
him
him. Hmm.
to keep him thrown off. But in all reality, that'd be a way to see if they have kids together, to see if the kids are good. But can you send one of them babies on over here now to I need them to plug in something for me. That'd be the way to see. I'm saying it's all in how you do it. Because people
Yeah,
don't
and
know.
you couldn't get away with that if you had a girlfriend that was younger.
Right, because they what you gonna say? Old lady sitting up there, and the main thing is, I'll give you some change if you go pick up my medicine for me. And, okay, Miss Such and Such. So you got to be friends with the both of them. They already know you ain't hanging out. Y'all don't have the same, but that is always your best ally.
Okay.
It's the oldest person. Find the oldest person you know, and make friends with that old lady. And then with old people, you're not going to see them all the time. They old, they tired or whatever, so they pose no threat unless it's one of them old ladies who you better get away from him, or soon as she see him, give him that look.
Yeah.
That's the old lady you don't need. Like, yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
like a Medea.
Yes, exactly. Don't You got to get the opposite from the Medea, but who knows?
Yeah.
And who you can say, hey, if something happens, this number, you call that number, that number, that number. Or she's going to probably give you advice anyway. But older women, same way us, we're not older women, but we or older women, we love helping the youth if they need us. So they will do the same for us. Our elders will do the same for us.
Right. Well, I know I've done that for my girlfriend sometimes. Like, listen, if we're friends and we usually hang out, and I don't hear nothing from you in 2 weeks, I'm gonna roll by.
Now, when you're dealing with a narcissistic person, you have to be careful because they're going to do things to set you up. They may
Mm.
tarnish your name,
Oh yeah, I
So,
know.
so
It's
if
happened to me before. They turned their back on me because their man said, "Oh, they're no good," because they see, if you're a progressive, you're going to school, you have a business, you're independent, they don't want you around.
that's the stupidest thing, but that's not. You would think women would think that that's a red light. How you gonna tell me about somebody I knew long before you? Oh, if she wasn't no, thanks for telling me she ain't no good, or she ain't your real friend, but she was my real friend for 12, 13 years. Well, what's like? I'm like, that's something you should think to yourself. Like, what will make them say that this been my? I know this person way more than you.
Yeah.
So, but they don't put the connection together. But as a friend, you have to understand that. Don't take it out on your friend. You may have to step back and play the cards a little differently, but never take. They're already gone through enough with that narcissistic person. Don't make them think they lost everybody. Yeah, but you
Mhm.
do have to step back. You got to play the cards different. You have to see
Mhm.
them when you see them, but you have to don't be like, okay, that they made him. No, nobody can push you away from your friend. You just
Mhm.
can't be that same friend no more.
Yeah, well, I was doing the things like, especially if somebody's in a relationship and I think it's a dangerous one, I'll pop by their job.
Yeah, you could do that. Like I said, you could
Yeah,
climb
stuff
a
like
ladder.
that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you can't be rolling up to their house like you used to, because they're gonna be like, "What you doing here? You told them to come over here." Yeah,
Uh,
you gotta act different, do something different.
yeah, you got to change the whole friendship until so that friend can feel when it's ready for them to go. And being that that's your friend, you would know when they really ready.
Hmm.
Then you could set the motion and plan.
Yeah.
But you gotta wait for that green light.
Yeah, they have to be ready too to get out, because I hear that all the time. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get out and leave them, and then they make up and they forget about that plan. So when
No,
they're
what?
really ready, they'll let you know.
Yeah, but being that I'm not your friend like that, being that I know that's a narcissistic person, I'm not gonna be hearing all of that. So we're not gonna be conversating and stuff like that, unless, like you said, I pop up on you or whatever. Because
Right.
I just need for you to know that, for my friend to know, I'm gonna love you regardless. And when you're ready to make that move, I'm there. But
Hmm.
until then, you know, because remember, they mess up everybody's lives, not just the person that they're with. Anybody who they love, because they
Yeah.
want full control. They don't want you to have. They want you to have nobody.
That's their job. Their job is to isolate you
Hmm.
so that they can get you all to themselves, so that you can be a punching bag, a baby machine, whatever it is that they want. So you got to be careful. These narcissistic really have people in their pockets, you know?
Yeah, that's why I be going at them mammies, girl. I be going at them mammies because I'm like, they sit up there and they cape for these men. There's nothing wrong with caping for these men, but you are training these girls how to be the best women for a narcissistic man, where that regardless, there's not enough training in the world for these narcissistic men. There's not enough whatever what he like. It's not enough of that in the world. Not enough cooking and cleaning and making sure his clothes. They're sick.
But the whole thing, the difference between a narcissistic man and a regular man you can please. He's going to appreciate you. He'll say thank you. A narcissistic person will always find something off about whatever it is that you do to start an argument with you.
No, but what I'm saying with these mammies,
Oh,
you're sending them to these men that you don't know who they are. So me, if you're gonna talk about the femininity and being feminine, then you should also teach them these red flags. You should, if you're going to be the person that you want to be the voice for women, but instead of being male worshipers, then you got to teach them some of everything. Like, if you get a good man, this is how you should be, But if you see these red flags, go. You have to
Yeah.
teach them all the sides, not just taking care of a man. What if you're sending them to the wrong man?
Yeah.
And then they're going to think this is normal because they was told, and this especially in certain religions and cultures, they believe that's just the man and it's okay. It's not okay.
Yeah. It's not okay to be manipulated and used. It's
And
not
then
okay.
no, but they'll train the daughters how to put up with it and how to live with it, and make these women think it's normal. It's not normal. Like, I have seen, like, depending on what culture you're from, and the child will go home to their mother, and then the mother, oh, he slapped me, he did this, the mother turned around and slapped the girl again and said, go back home to your husband. That's your
Mm.
husband.
Yeah, deal with it.
And a lot of these men, they are. That's why there's a lot of narcissistic men too, because they know in certain places there's no repercussions for their actions because it's normal.
Mm.
It,
It's a cycle of generations that this keeps happening.
and the minute you speak up, oh, you're a modern woman. What the heck is a modern woman? Or that's the feminism. That ain't got nothing to do with their behavior, but they'll throw that in your face, and I'm like, women, like I said, a lot of women, men too. I'm not excluding the men. It's just
Yeah,
that,
it goes on
right?
both
Not
sides.
exclude, but the only reason why I'm saying men and women because I happen to be a woman, but it goes for men too. What I'm saying,
Yeah.
but people think a lot of women think a lot of things is okay. It's not okay.
Sounds like a ladies' conversation deep. So
No,
what
it's
about
for
the red flags that are from the opposite sex?
no. What I'm saying, juicing with Jay, it goes for both. It goes for both. The only reason why I'm saying men is because I happen to be a woman who mess with men. But the same rule apply for both with them Jezebels and stuff like that. I just can't speak upon ladies. I don't deal with ladies, but it goes for both. It's both. It's the same rule apply. You meet that woman, she's Miss Betty Crocker. She's baking everything from scratch, doing everything from scratch, and you think you got the best woman ever. She makes your lunch and everything, and then you realize at some point in time, once you give her that ring or Mercedes or pocketbook or whatever, and she knows she got you, she change up on you. I mean, she give you the best love making ever. She do all types of tricks and stuff, and you like, my God, oh Lord, thank you. Whoa, you sent me what I was looking for.
Mhm. Yeah. She knows she got you. Hook, line, and sinker.
And she's the one that's what they would like to say, the ghetto girls, but it's not because you're in the ghetto. It's just them are narcissistic girls. Them the ones that's busting your cars, and them the ones that's poking the holes in the condoms, and them the
Yeah.
ones, yeah, them the ones that's setting you up really good.
Yeah, that's the ones that will slash your tires.
Them the ones that would date your best friend and be with your best friend. It's the same way both ways, you know. So we have a habit of, especially on social media, we like to speak in. You could speak in general. There's nothing wrong with speaking in general, but if you also have to make room for these mentally ill people, and that should be brought up too in a conversation. There's
Right.
mental it though. They make these
There is
men
mental illness for
right.
real.
These mammies make it seem like, oh, these men are finally speaking. Why are you speaking up for all these men? You don't know all these men.
Mhm. And exactly what you were saying, that's what Wanda says too. She was faking until she got her ring.
Yeah, not good.
Yep, not good.
Yeah, but I was raised by my grandmother. I was brought up to believe that all women were sweet, but I had to learn the hard way. That yeah, I always speak for both sides. It's just that it may seem like I'm talking about men because that's only because I deal with men. But the same rule apply for men. Just flip it. Narcissistic is narcissistic. It has nothing to do with just being a man. As women and men, just flip it. But it's for you too. It's for you too.
Yeah, because I've seen. Ooh, let me tell you, I've seen some women, and you just see them in the beginning of the relationship. Oh my God, they look so beautiful. You know, hair done, nails done, everything done. Look beautiful. Take care of the man. He going to work. She's cooking a meal. As soon as either they move in together or get married, or don't even talk about if she get pregnant because it's over for you then. Um,
Like them are the women who they go after the woman that they know you love the most or hate the most. That will
mm,
always be your mother. So they always when you see a woman constantly going after your mama or calling you a mama's boy, them the ones you need to watch because
mm,
they want that mama's they want that love they want that I am the first I am that I am it they want that they don't you're never going to get it that's their mother I come and I'm the ones I come first I'm your wife no my mother comes first because
mhm.
biblically speaking my mother come first and we biblically speaking we are supposed to be joined as one so technically speaking that's your mother too so you need to honor and respect your mother also because that is now your mother because we are married see people like to talk about biblically speaking but they do not speak upon the order they don't speak upon the rules and regulations one is a commandment. One is scripture. One tells you about how it is when you're married. But the commandment is thou shalt honor thy mother, thy father. So if a man and a woman comes together, that is now your mother, that is now your father. Like I seen the video, and this girl was going crazy because he opened the front door for his mother. No, she belong in the back, but I'm no, 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 no. I'm your wife. A lot of women like to throw that in up in the air like that means something. It doesn't because I'm your wife, then you would know this is your mother. And if that was your mother and I put your mother in the front seat, would you still be acting like that?
No, sure wouldn't.
Or his sister. They always go after the women in the family, not so much the men. But anything like
Mhm.
if you have like a close cousin, the narcissistic woman will go after the sister mother, the sister, the close cousins. They will cause like
Mhm.
a and then they get to the point that they're gonna make sure that they're not invited anywhere because nobody wants to deal with her. So now that puts the man in a conundrum. Like, okay, now it's Christmas. Where do I go? You know what I'm saying? Like, hmm. Now that man got a lot of extra problems. No, that's not petty. That's evil. That's evil. But
Yep.
that a
Yep.
man is now stuck in a predicament. Okay, now it's Thanksgiving. This is
Yep.
right.
And where
So
can he go now?
exactly. Or if the mother call, he can't tell the mother calls. And if she find out, well, he probably at his blah 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 mother house because she don't know how to do blah 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 blah. And I'm like, nine times, 8 times out of 10, she's a narcissistic woman, and she wants mommy, but God knows better. God knows that you only get one parent. You can get divorced, you could be in love, you could do whatever, but you can get more than one partner in your lifetime. You're only gonna get one parent. And the purpose of that is because they took care of you. Now they're old. Your job is to take care of them.
Mhm.
That's how the pecking order goes. Man, God, man, woman, child. But the order always changes depending on where you're at. But God still comes first. So if you're in your own household, it's God, man, woman, child. But now when you go to your parents' house, the order has now changed. So instead of being the man, you are now the child. Because if your parents are living, your parents would now be the man.
Yep.
So people don't understand the orders change depending on who you're with, the orders change. So that's why you're supposed to respect your parents regardless. But when a man becomes a man of the house, then now he thinks that I'm going to put my foot down. No, because when you're in their house, you are now the child.
Yep. You're under their law now.
Exactly.
And
You
that's what
know,
people don't want to recognize. It's a kind of a roadblock sometimes that happens, especially when people are married and say the parents get sick and you're there to take care of the parents, but you're in their home. You have to follow, regulation of the parents, even though you are taking care of them. You're still their children.
even if they come to your house,
You
the
have to
rules, the
respect them.
rule, the rules still change because they're still the parent. You never not stop being the parent. So even if they come to your house, now, if you are understanding parent, now you know that you're grown. This is your house. This is your rules, and you just can't go taking over people's stuff. A parent will know that, or an adult when they're going to like somebody's house. But in reality, they're still the one in control because they're still the parent. You supposed to respect them as if they're in their house. They don't lose respect because they go to your house.
Yeah,
So if you have
and that's one of the issues that I have sometimes, Sugar Love, is that people when they get married, they completely cast their parents aside and treat them like they're nothing. And I don't go for that. It doesn't matter, even if you're married, that doesn't stop being a parent. And
Mhm.
especially if it's a woman and and they're, oh, why you always got to be going over to your mama house, why you always got to be taking care of your daddy, because that's what I ran into
or
in
they
my relationship. They're like, well, you got other sisters, make them. No, that's my mama. And no,
I'm gonna
that's my
tell you,
daddy. No.
I've always been such a mama's baby, and we both are babies. We are the babies. I I think they know how I feel about that subject, especially when she had like the strokes and stuff. And baby, I ain't. You gonna have to do what you got to do. I'm at the hospital every day. I ain't care about you being not. I ain't care about you being nothing, cause all that goes away. My mama in the hospital. You gonna do what you got to do, bro. But I got to
Mhm.
go. No, we can't. No talking. I'll see you when I get back. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's the only time. But people, that's why a lot of marriages don't they don't work out because a lot of people don't know their roles because people don't understand. If we're going by the way life is supposed to be, the parents is going to go. The parents is going to ascend. And then it's going to be just left with you and your husband. And if you do it right, then your kids are going to take care of you. But
Right.
they're much older. So, take care of them while they're here. You're going to have, then it's going to be time for it's just to be you and your husband. Just like you have some men who have like their sons and they be like, that's not my daughter-in-law, that's my daughter. Because that young lady treats that man mother, even though she doesn't know that's biblically she's doing absolutely right. But when you do it right, see how the dynamics changes?
Yeah.
And
because the family is supposed to accept you. I hate here when people say that's my sister-in-law, that's my brother-in-law. No, that's your sister now.
mm-hmm.
I hate it. Should be no in-law. That's my mother-in-law, my father-in-law. All that is out.
Yeah,
Once you say I do, people should be starting to treat each other as blood. That's my blood now. That's my family.
right.
Not no in-law stuff.
Because you had now became one.
Yeah.
So they quick to throw the part out when it comes to like for a wife to be let it be known she's the wife. They quick to throw we together now and the marriage come first. But they forget about the other part. They forget when you say you become one, that means that's your mama too. They
And if
forgot that part.
something's wrong with your sister, something's wrong with my sister. That's my sister too.
Right.
It's a family problem. It's not just that's your sister, your mama. No, it's our mama, our sister.
Yeah, and just like if that was your mother, because some mothers is terrible, right? But they say some of them set in their ways. But
Mhm.
if that was your mother, how would you deal with it? Would you curse her out? Would you beat her up and call all types of names and keep people from seeing her? Or would you go, you know what, that's just my mama? The same would apply if that's his mother too. You're supposed to accept them as they are. And there's nobody perfect. Does that mean be around them every day? No. No,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
But also, I have to say too that you have to also set boundaries too, because you know already that some family members can be too much. You got to set some boundaries too and be like, yeah, I'm here for you, but also that's my husband, or vice versa. That's my wife. People have to set boundaries, like you're not going to treat them any kind of way. You got to have a level of respect in families. It can't just be like, you know what I mean? You
I mean,
can't just let your family treat, your
boundary is set.
spouse like nothing.
Boundaries. Look, I don't have a spouse, boy, and I had a boyfriend. Or listen, I don't care how your family treats you. I mean, I'm not saying like I don't care. I really do care, but even though we are one, that's your battle to fight. That's your family. That's your battle. Y'all work it out because I have married into the family, but this dynamic been going on long before me. Now if I can mediate, I will mediate. Now, found far as boundaries is set with anybody in your life. Period. That's with any and everybody in your life. I don't care if it's the mailman. I don't care if it's the Amazon man. I don't care who it is. Boundaries have to be set with any and everybody in your life, from the littlest person to the biggest person. So if somebody's mother or somebody's not talking to you, you can say, well, I don't really talk like that. Don't talk to me like that. And if they proceed, then you step back. I ain't gonna disrespect you, but you ain't got to worry about seeing me, okay? Because you have problems that last was here long before me. But I would never talk about her. I would never tell him not to go see her. I would never say none of the above. Because we can get divorced tomorrow, that would still be his mama. you
Right.
know. And
That's
if
how
it,
that's how I feel too. If I'm with somebody and I may not jive well with that certain family member, I'm just gonna pull back. That's your sister, brother, whoever. But I'm not gonna tell you not to deal with them, but I choose that I'm not going to deal with them.
I mean, I've been lucky though that all the guys that I have dated, like me and their side, they always saw me as a daughter. We always had. I never really had bad cuz I always knew my role. I always knew what not to put my nose into. And then I'm the type of person that like I'm like a once in the blue type of person. I'm not like that's even with my own family. I'm not the type of person you're gonna see me all the time, so you don't have to worry about this. So when I catch up with people, it's always good intentions and it's always good conversation because I really don't know your business because I'm not around. you know, I have
Right.
nobody to talk about. So people have to learn how to navigate through life. And sometimes you cannot be that everyday person. You got to be that I see you when I see you. And then when you catch up, you have a lot to talk about. You get the giggle until I hear from you again. And then you find things, you put it on, in your memory deck if you could remember. And when you speak to that, oh girl, and this happened. So what happened since the last time I spoke to you? So, you have to find ways, but you can't, like a lot of women, they want to be all up in the family. No.
Mhm. I'm not
Even
one of those either. It's not that I'm a cold. I guess that's what I've been called cold by people on his side of the family. But that's how I am with mine too. Like I'll check on you, but I don't need to be all up in your house every single day.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't roll. I don't roll that way. I think every person, when they're adult, they need their own space and have their own life and their own thing going on. So I'm just gonna check in, tap in, probably on the weekends, and then the rest of the week, you go about your business and I go about mine.
That's how it's supposed to be. And that's why some people have friendships. If they're still living, they've been friends with people 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, because, and a lot of them have moved away. Y'all probably started out on the same block, but some people move, they get jobs, they go to college, but you still have that friend, even though y'all distant now, but it doesn't take away the love you have for that person. Sometimes them are the best relationships, like the friends that you meet up with to go on like trips and stuff with. Like, okay, when you see each other, wow, girls trip, them are some of the best relationships.
Hmm.
And then you get to unload and catch up on a lot of things. But if you got a narcissistic man, that ain't happening. You ain't going nowhere. But like I said, the main thing is I try to always speak on narcissism. I try to catch people before they fall in love. So you can get out just as quick as you get in, you can get out just as quick. But once they got you, there's nothing nobody can do to help
Hmm.
them. There is nothing but you yourself will have to get tired of being tired. And
Yeah.
some women stay with them men until they get a heart attack or
And vice versa. I've seen it opposite too. Some men get involved with that woman. You be like, "Ooh, why don't you just leave him?" But he's caught up. He's in her web. He
hmm
can't get out.
hmm
Yeah, it got stuck. And I like what the word said. He said the only time he gets involved when I see my wife can't handle a situation, I let her handle family business, but my job is to protect my wife from any and all things.
I mean, eh, yeah, but I mean, I minds my business. Like I said, I do it the same. I do everything the same way. I mind like my daughter. She has a boyfriend. I minds my business. I see them once in the blue. My child is okay, fine. But even if she couldn't handle it, she's gonna have to learn how to handle it. Like, I know when to step in because at the end of the day, that's still gonna be her boyfriend until she doesn't want him to be her boyfriend no more.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna have that. They was or that's like me and my daughter getting into something, and then her man decides, oh, well, let me protect her. I wish a ninja would. I'm talking my child. I birth. I wish you would come in my business. You don't know the family
Yep.
dynamics. I wish you would. Yeah, yeah. It ain't gonna go down how you or my son. He get a girlfriend, and I'm saying something to my son. And now I could be your best ally. I think you don't understand. I'm your best ally. If you stop trying to let me know that you can, you ain't gonna say that. Oh, girl, you done messed up. Cause see, I knew him from the birth canal. I know things you don't know.
Yeah,
I know
I know.
things you don't know. I could have helped you, but now you on your own. And don't call me when
Yeah,
you
that's happened to me too for on my brother's side. And they get with a new girl and they think like, oh, I'm going to try to mess up their thing. And I was like, oh, you want to be nasty? See,
hmm
I was coming in to help you with
Yep.
something, but now
Uh
I'm out.
huh.
I was trying to help a
Exactly,
sister
sis.
out.
I was could have been your best ally. Now you done messed up. Hold
Yeah.
up. I
Mm-mm.
was a ditch or what? Mm-mm. Not nothing I birthed, and That go for
Mm-mm.
the ones I didn't birth neither. Remember,
Yep.
I had my nephews
Yep.
before I had my
My
daughter.
nephews,
I
my
would
brothers, my cousins. I was like, I'm trying to help you out. I'm trying to tell you what's coming next because I know the cycle of the girls when they're in a relationship to try to help them out. Like, okay, next up is going to be this.
yeah. Now see you only know, the mature side of him. There's another side of him now. Hold up.
Mhm.
I can tell you what he really don't like and what he really do like. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you how to do little surprises because maybe things when he was little. Like I can say he used to like that.
Yeah.
That'll be a good gift. Yes, I can help you out. But now, you the woman. All right, do you, chick?
Yeah. And wait until they see that mask fall off or the other side of them.
Now the question should be like, what do you do when it's like not when you're not when you're dealing with a narcissist, but when it's what do you do like when it's like your family member, like your son, your daughter, like your niece or your nephew? The question is like, what do you do? Because like
When you're saying like when they're the problem.
right when like what do you do when the narcissistic person is them?
Mhm.
See, that's a question a lot of mothers and fathers don't want to deal with.
Mhm.
So
Well,
you
I had that problem with my ex that he was the problem and the mother identified and said, you're the one messing up, homeboy. You're the one. He said, because you got a good thing. Okay. So she called him out. So I don't
oh,
know. I don't
some of
know.
them some of them call them out, but some of them depending on how they grew up. Just like my son for instance. It's always been me and him, right? So when it's always been me and him, and I never seen no other side of him, but the girlfriend has. So and a lot of mothers when it comes, even though we could say she got a good thing over, but the mother's gonna always side with her child. They
Yeah,
may call them out or whatever, but that's still gonna be their, even if y'all break up, that's still their child. So it's
right.
like so it's like what do you do? Or it's like it's your brother and he's the one that's abusing that woman. And like, do we always turn a blind eye? It's like, or
I don't.
but a
I
lot
don't turn a blind eye. I have told my brother's exes, you need to get away. You need to get away.
and some of them don't listen neither
I know that they don't listen,
because
but
they,
I'm not a
yeah.
person to turn a blind eye and say, "Oh, they're like how some people like when it comes to their family, they think that they're the best person in the world when they're the most evil." I'm not one of those.
Okay, Selena. Okay,
Okay, Selena, thank you.
her sister and her fight all the time. And I stepped in one time when she was pregnant. Oops. And she was just bullying her. And I had to tell her sister to chill. You couldn't just tell your wife, don't deal with the sister.
Hmm.
Sometimes you can't fix the other person, but you could say, listen, wife, cause you gotta ask yourself if they're bullying her and you always have to step in, you will have to now ask yourself, why do your wife keep going through that?
Yeah, but sometimes it becomes like a toxic thing, like a poison. You're
Hmm.
just so used to it all the time that when you feel like you should pull away, but inside of you, you're still like, but that's my sister or cousin or whoever they are to you.
That's why I said
You feel like you have more loyalty to that than the toxicity.
that's why I don't get in the middle of family problems. That's
Mhm.
exactly why, because that's their toxicity. I'm not going to be getting all sick and no, mm-mm. That's how your family, made. Oh, maybe he should might take his wife to therapy. Maybe try a little therapy or something, and find out where it's coming from. because that's his baby in her stomach, and that waves down to the baby. It's
Yeah,
not baby
it's not good.
nervous. It's not good. Sometimes, like you probably couldn't do it like with the husband, like telling the husband, hey, you need therapy. But it's a little bit easier for men to say to a wife, come on, let's go get therapy. And let's find out where, like, let's get to the root of this problem. So I think
Mhm.
it'd be easier for a man to get a woman to therapy than a woman to get a man, than a woman to
Yeah,
get a man to
I think
therapy.
it's always easier for a man to get a woman than a woman to get a man, because most of the time, for when it comes to men, the ego gets in the way.
Because we at the age now where everything that we can say something for, we got to see if we can make a solution. We must come up with solutions. That's what life is about, solution. Now, it's her older sister and it's their culture. She grew a backbone over the years. I have been working with her on it. Yeah, that's why I said it's for her to grow that backbone. But I would still let her see a therapist. I
Mhm.
mean, it's nothing. I tell her I use that all the time. I can't say that enough. Make people got to make therapy their best friend, because even if she does have a backbone, we don't know if she still get triggered for some things. Sometimes
Mhm.
you have to talk it out, because the same way we talk about narcissistic, sometimes our parents was narcissistic, or our grandparents was narcissistic, which in turn treated our parents bad, but made now in return they're treating us bad.
Right. That's
So,
what I had to do for myself. That's what I had to do, because after years, coming from a big family, and there's like a chain of command how I grew up, like how things are supposed to be. Then when you get in a relationship, they're like, who told you it's supposed to be that way?
hmm
Not all the time the way you were raised, your experiences in your childhood, that doesn't mean that that's healthy. And they're like, nah, that's toxic. So I had to learn as an adult to redefine
hmm
new expectations. Just because your expectations were blah 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 as a child, that does not mean your expectations as an adult has to be the same. So it takes some rewiring, and then you asking yourself questions like, what really do I want?
hmm
Not how I was raised, not what did my parents say or what do my siblings say, but what do I think, and what do I want, and what is good and healthy for me. And I think, especially growing up, in the Black community, like certain things, is like you're told what to think, that you don't
hmm
really think for yourself. And as an
right.
adult, I had to say,
hmm
no, that's former, that's from childhood traumas and certain things, that's not healthy. And I had to start saying that that's not healthy, that's toxic. And
Yeah.
I have to change that and do better for myself so that I can have peace. And a lot of times in the Black community, we don't think about the peace. We just
hmm
think about
hmm
protecting bad behaviors, and we make excuses for people who got mental illness or issues and excuse it. And you shouldn't excuse toxic behavior or toxic people.
Well, people have to learn, number one, what what is communication, right? Like what is the purpose of communicating? Because a lot of people think communicating is so you could say what you have to say, but in all reality, communicating is so you can hear what the other person has to say, and then now the other person now gets to hear what you have to say, and now you come with a compromise, right? Because like me and poor Kevin was going at it yesterday when I was on my other channel, but me and poor Kevin
I
go.
was in the bushes.
Right, but I'm like, because I do get it. I get it, men, who take care, men want to be the one who, but I'm like, I'm not built like that. It has nothing to do with him not doing his job. Yes, he can still pay the bills and do everything, but me as a person, I don't care who it is. I can't have, I believe that I so believe in self-preservation to the fullest. And I believe, like, if that person is not around, what I do. Just like if I go to somebody's house, I'll be the one, well, hey, let's go shopping. What do you need? I have to put something in there. That's just me. That would never change. I cannot have out no, okay, then I'll do the phone bill. You know what I'm saying? I have to find, but any man that I be with, they will have to know, hey, just relax now. They will have to know that it has nothing to do with you, your manhood, or you're not being the leader. It's just that this is how I am as a person. I have to I have to work. I have to figure things. I have to make my own change. Because at the end of the day, when I leave this earth, I want to feel like I fulfilled something. And having somebody take care of me takes away that for me. I want to say, hey, I built this, or I did this career. Because what they always say on your last day, I don't know if it's true, but they always say on your last day, like your whole life, like comes, like it comes at you before you leave.
My dad was talking about that. Your whole life flashes before your eyes.
So you have heard it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't want to flash me sitting home all daggone say cooking and clean. I don't want to flash that. That's a nightmare. That would be a nightmare for me. You know,
Especially if you don't like the highlight reel, like.
because I'm like this. Why not? Um, like anybody who I would be with, no, don't sit back and take care of me. Let's take our money, put it together, and let's get something bigger. Let's get something better. Let's do a business. Like, that's how my mind works. If anybody who deals with me would have to understand, that's how my mind works. So, okay, don't just take care of me. Let's get a let's start real estate. Let's do this. Let's do that. But I still have to use my mind and my brain. That's what God gave me. But some people they don't mind, letting the man do everything. My thing is, my if I know my mind works quicker than his, you benefited messing with me. You benefited marrying me. I'm gonna give you. I could do ideas all day, every day.
Yeah, the whole thing is that it depends on who you're with. I am not the type of woman that expects to be in a woman's role, because I don't believe in gender roles. I think
Mm,
it's whoever does the best at whatever it is, do
mm,
that. I am not I have nothing There's nothing wrong with a man being a stay-at-home dad. There's nothing
yep.
wrong with the woman being the provider of the home, but it's what works in your family. Every family is different.
And
There's
then
no wrong answers. You got to do
and,
what
and
suits
then
your family.
and you got some men too. They wasn't mama babies, but they was grandma babies. And a lot
Mhm.
of these men can cook up a storm. Why should we? And that's what they love to do. Why should we take that from them? Like, so if they want to cook, it doesn't change the role in the relationship. It's just that he's a better cook and he likes to cook. It doesn't
Well,
take
I've seen
nothing
I've
from
seen
him.
that sugar love with my brothers.
Well,
That's why those girls, they fall so mad for my brother, because he come in and he'll cook a whole meal like like a chef.
Mm,
And it's nothing wrong with that, because if a man is better at being a cook, let him do it. Just like if a woman is better at doing financial things, let him do that. It's whoever does it best, let them do it. I'm just sick of hearing people say that's a woman's role or a man's role. No, it's whatever is working. When you're together with somebody long enough, you know who is good at what.
yeah, yeah,
And it's nothing wrong to step back and say, hey, handle it, because I can't do it. And it
yeah.
doesn't make you less of a woman, and it doesn't make you less of a man.
Cause I think, me too. I mean, that's even like even on YouTube or whatever. I make sure out because I'm so thankful that people like the mod. Like, I don't have a problem with saying, you know what, I'm doing something for you mods. It's always just a way of saying thank you and stuff like that. So we're not taking away your manhood or whatever, and then now you're telling me, well, you can take and do what you want with your money. I'm going to do that anyway. I don't think I need for you to tell me that. But anyway, well,
That's facts. That's facts on that. Uh-huh.
I, but thanks for letting me know. I can do what of course I know I can do what I want to do with my money. But at the end of the day, it's okay for a woman to say, I got this. And why it don't have to be that a man is in a we don't have why wait till you get in a bad predicament and then get stressed out, then cause problems in the family, because a lot of men suffer through that in silence, like when they're the only ones paying the bills and stuff like that. And then when a lot of times when that starts, like either they lose their job or whatever happened, the bills go up or things happen, you have kids or whatever. And then when all them problems start hitting him, he doesn't tell the wife, then he becomes like really mean and really aggressive. So instead of going through that, it's okay to say, you know what, I got this. I'll take these and you take that. So now you go now, and that little extra money, let's save it for this rainy day. But if you're just paying all the bills all the time and I'm doing whatever I want to do, either A, there's going to be no savings, or B, you're not going to need my savings.
Hmm.
So either way,
And
you're
that's why
going to.
people have problems. You gotta be balanced in a relationship. Gotta be balanced in a relationship. It's crazy.
Yep, he said he a grandma baby. See, some people are grandma. Some people may not be mama baby, but they grandma baby. Grandma cook different. Grandma got a little different stuff in her fingers than mama. Something about ooh. mm. So
Well, I was always daddy's girl, so I can fix a car. So I don't like people say, "Oh, making your man do that." I don't know what. I was around my daddy, and how many brothers I
and
got?
and vice versa. Some girls too are they can do things men do because they was daddy's girl or grandpa's girl. But yeah, same rule apply. My wife only really married me for my homemade barbecue sauce. I, I told you she made
Yeah,
it
she made it
once
once.
and she been hooked and been asked me for it. You ain't make it again. You
Come
only
on, the
oh
word. Make
no
that for your wife and
word
stop
you
that.
know you wrong. You wrong. She gotta wait
Make her that
15
barbecue
years.
sauce and get her hooked back again. And then make it again in 5 more years. Come on, you gotta make it at least once every 5 years.
Don't get to the point the word when you gonna forget. like like them, I know this did used to go.
Yeah, it tastes a little different. Mm, when did I forget?
Don't get to the point that you gonna forget the word.
Yeah, but
You got any brothers? You got any
I think that
brothers?
people get so focused on gender roles and what other people think, and that's the thing that drives me crazy when people look at somebody else and they'll get jealous and envious of what somebody else has. You don't know how long they've been grinding or how long their family has been grinding for them to have something, and you jealous of them having that.
And we don't even know if they're happy.
Yeah, yeah, and they could be in debt up to their eyeballs.
See, when people have this talk, and then we're in 2023. So from the time the moment the first person stepped here, us black folks stepped here, up to 2023, show me where them gender roles was like. And besides, when we have went to the middle class, when we went to the middle class family, that's when we had the gender roles, because now the men was able to work and the women was able to take care of the kids, and now they was able to live in nice neighborhoods and do nice things. But if you wasn't in that middle class, them gender roles wasn't like that.
Yeah.
It was not. And I tell people all the time, because we was too busy picketing, we was too busy fighting for our rights, fighting to vote, fighting to this. We was always fighting people. We didn't have no time to be sitting. I'm not talking about physically, I'm talking about for things. We didn't have this time for the women to sit home and bake the cakes. And no, they was every video I have ever shown from each part, from each, it was always a woman right beside the man. Even there was have never been that I have seen. There has never been, and people claim it, but I haven't seen it, where it was always just men. The Black Panthers had women, anything you name had women. And they always say, well, leave supposed to leave the women at home because they the ones that something happened to us, got to take care of the kids. Them women still was out there.
Right on the battle, in the front lines.
The women were still out there. So we knew how to leave that alone back then to better our people, but we can't do it now to better the family. That's crazy. Like we for
Yeah.
our people, we knew we had to have women and men. We both had to work. You did this, I did that, but we both had to still do something. But now we don't want to make that work for our families.
Mhm.
That's crazy. Like
Yeah,
you're
it's
supposed to do
crazy.
whatever you can to make it work. But once you come in anyway, but the a rule book and the marriage is already messed up. When you
Yep.
come in with a set of
Yep.
rules, marriages are not. The matter of fact, we ain't even. As soon as they start telling us what it's supposed to be, I'm gone.
Yeah,
I am.
my mom always said from we were little kids, she always told us, all 10 of her kids, don't let nobody tell you what works in your relationship. You know what works and you know what's not working. So you do what works for you. And like people will say, "Oh, that's what a woman should do and that's what kids should do." No. Every dynamic is different.
Hmm.
Every dynamic is different in situations, and there's a lot of things that people don't know who are the main people to judge you. You know, people don't know all the little things that goes on behind the scenes in the family and lots of issues. And I don't care what anybody says, every family has issues.
And a lot of times these men take credit for the ideas and the stuff their wives told them to do anyway, and they sit around like they sit around knowing for the fact it wasn't their idea, no nothing. It was the
And
wife.
they don't give their wife any credit.
Mm-mm. And they talk about I'm the leader, ninja. Ninja, what's up, East Dad? Ninja, stop playing. You know, us wives be sitting up there. Yeah, we take the back seat, but we made. That's why a lot of time women too. That's where they get that bitter from. And you know what? I always tell women all the time, you got every right to be bitter. Don't stay there. Don't
Mhm.
stay there. But you got every right to be bitter and feel whatever way you want to feel.
Yep, that's how
That's
it
how
is.
it's supposed to be.
Yep. We complement each other, become the strength of your partner's weakness, and vice versa. I tell you something that my mom told me, and that thing really was like incredible for me. My grandparents, my grandfather could never read, but my grandma could read. So my grandma took care of all the books, the accounting, told him what to do and what was right. But my grandmother couldn't drive. So he used to take her around. So it's like one always complimented to the other and helped each other. There wasn't no like, you know, oh, I do this, I handle this because I'm a man, or I do this because I'm a woman and this is a woman's house. It don't work that way. In a good, healthy environment, is whatever each other needs. That's what I'm gonna do and fill
Well, yeah,
in.
when I'm weak, you're strong. You
Yeah,
know, and these men don't want to. You can't possibly know everything. Stop it, Mister Alpha Man. You can't possibly know everything. You can't. You know, God gave us all talents. So sometimes you're gonna need my talents. We can't sit back and take your lead all the time. Sometimes we see when no, that's baby, that's not the right way to go.
hmm
And you know, I don't know, but all I know
yeah.
is, you can trust. I want to do that. Can trust be for me? No, trust cannot be rebuilt.
For you, trust can't be rebuilt, and I would say, I think trust can be rebuilt, depending on what was done to me. There's certain things that sometimes trust can be broken, and it's because of a miscommunication problem. I've seen that far too many times. One person took things the wrong way, and no, they did
Yeah,
not
but you
sit
didn't
down.
break. Yeah, but that wasn't. You didn't break my trust. That was a miscommunication. That's different. But when we talking about trust, that means
Okay.
something I trusted you with that you betrayed. Trust means for that means you betrayed me.
Right.
That's the type of trust I'm talking about. That betrayal. I trusted
Um,
you with whatever, and you betray. I'm not talking about something that you did to make me mad or miss. No, that's. But for me, it cannot. But does that mean I can't get over it? Yeah, I could get over it, but it will always be a thing. Now I have to watch you. You
yeah.
know. So do you want to be with somebody you got to watch and what they say is what they say is where they at or where they at. You know. So
So you're saying that you don't think that you could rebuild a trust from a person, but what if a person changes? Because people can change.
no, that's why I said I will be get over it. But I'll still be side you. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I will
that's real. That's
I, I,
real.
I'll
Hmm.
still be side eye. The point of we're speaking, that mean, because sometimes I usually like leave people alone, period. I mean, I'll make sure that I would never get to the point where I'm mad at you or hate you because the slightest thing I'm backing up to make sure it goes no further.
Hmm.
So I make sure, I can always still speak to you. I just can't deal with you. So I'm not gonna let you go further. Once
Yep.
I
I always draw a line in the sand. They'd be like, and I tell them that's the far enough and stay right there. That's as far as you're gonna go. Yep. Line in the sand. Yep. Stay over there, partner. Mm-mm. Don't come no closer, homeboy. That's it.
Uh,
Yeah, we're
right.
done. Yeah, right there. Yeah, that's
So
how I am. Once I find out how somebody is, and not all the time is because of somebody did something to me, but sometimes I can't get along with certain people because of their personalities. And I
that
have
part is
to back
true.
and I have to back up from certain people because of my background and some things that I've been through. Some people trigger me, and you don't want to see the wall in that, Marlene. And I can go back to my past really quickly, and some people trigger me to make me want to go back to my past, Marlene, and I'm not doing. I'm recovered from that.
Yes, I have been
Yeah,
redeemed, baby.
I have been
I have
redeemed.
worked
So
on my salvation. Stop. No.
you're not gonna take me in reverse. I'm not going down the rabbit hole again. Mm-mm.
Yeah, so that's another reason why too. And then with me, I had to learn how to suck it up too and I had to learn how to deal with snakes because of the type of work that I do. And they all majority of them are snakes. But what are you going to do? So I make sure I always tell people you got your inner circle, you got your outer circle, which doesn't consist of people. It consists of you. So your inner circle is what you don't let nobody in.
Yeah.
So they'll never hurt you. Your outer circle is where you keep everybody. So that means you go, hey, how you doing? Make sure you don't keep the conversation short and sweet. Don't worry about nobody's business. Don't go into nobody's business. Don't do the he say, she say, because you don't know who's friends, who's foe. And sometimes you're talking about people and you don't know that person might be related to that person. So, keep everything short and sweet. I'm fine, beautiful. Yes, and then when you speak to
Hmm.
your old friends that you ain't heard from in a long time, them the people you talk to.
Yeah. I learned from my dad a long time ago from being a little girl. My dad always said, "Don't let everybody find out what you have going on in between your ears."
Yeah.
In your mind, there's only certain people that you give them a leg up into your true thoughts and intentions. There's most people you just keep it on a surface level, like basic, hi, like hi, how you doing? Yes, have a good day. Yeah, stuff like that, but you don't get in too deep.
Cause then, like, I look at people and I'm like, especially like in this social media world, And sometimes I say to myself, how old are you? Like, and then you realize some people just never grew up, and you wonder why the youth don't respect you. If they see you having the same lingo that they have, why would they respect you?
Mm-mm.
If you up there,
There's
if you,
certain things that you don't bring to the surface. Certain things you just leave it where it is, and you keep that to yourself.
right, because even if they don't know you, let's say they just going through TikTok or they going through whatever, and they see somebody 45 and 50 and 55, yo, son, I'm saying, step to me. No, you don't want, I'm like, that's the same lingo that they speak. You should be over that. You should be grown. You should be mature. You should not even shouldn't, So why would they respect you? You telling somebody, pull up, or I'm coming to see you, or it's on site. I'm like, you 50 years old. Who are you fighting? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, who are you going at it with? I'm like,
Bye, Betty. Have a good evening.
okay, Betty, take care. And I'll be like, these people need help. That they are still caught in the Peter Pan where they have not even grown up. And a lot of women, they get these still baby grown men.
Yeah. Mm.
And again, that's just like you have you have that you have the I forgot what I was gonna say. But either way, it'll come back to me. But
Wow.
yeah, but sometimes I just sit back, I'll be like, mm. And then they still throw tangents. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Salute to you, Papa. You
No
still have
problem.
the people too that again, just like you have a lot of conversation where they go like men contradict themselves, so they don't understand that they're contradicting themselves. You can't say, oh well, that's how the mother raised the son, right? And then, oh, the mother this, the mother that, and then with the next breath say, well, you know what, men are the leaders, men is the providers, you got to follow the men's role. But there was never no man in the house, and you just said the mother's terrible. So why would I expect for you to lead me anywhere? I'm like, sometimes that's a big payout for these men who have them type of
The narcissist.
the narcissists, even the ones who's not narcissistic. The fact that they believe that these are how it's supposed to be, but you just said women ain't nothing. You just said she's a baby mama. You just got finished saying they don't know how to raise their kids. So if you didn't come from a two-parent household, then that means your mama raised you. So if your mama's, that means your mama's terrible. That means your mama's everything you're calling all these other women. Why would I trust you to lead me? You never had no
Hmm.
man show you how to lead. So why you don't know how it's done? So what would make me let you lead me? But
Exactly.
these are
You
their
got you
words.
can't say something and then contradict yourself.
These their words, not mine. They got 50 million shows telling us how to treat a man when I don't believe a woman should speak for a man.
Yeah, for me, I don't care about words that people say. I'm not a words person. I'm an action person. So I don't care what people will say out of their mouth. I don't care what people say out of their mouth. It's how they walk, because sometimes a person can say that they're this and they're that, and their actions will show up a whole different vibe.
I'm like this. The minute you complain about me, then that means you ain't ready to be a man. You ain't ready.
Hmm.
You ain't ready because I'm gonna bring it.
They
Now if
don't
you
want the smoke. They don't want the smoke. I'm telling
so
you, because when you really bring the smoke, the people they gonna run
right,
away,
if you're a real man, you should be able to take all this smoke. You should know how to shut me up.
and they can't take. They run away like a dog with a tail between their
And,
legs.
and it's very simple to do. It's very simple. But if you're a man, you will know these things. But the minute you go, oh, I can't, that go with a lot of women. Oh, I can't deal with her. Then that means you can't deal with life.
Mm.
Because that could be your boss, that could be your next door neighbor. How do you got to be able to deal with just the point of being grown. You got to know how to deal with people. You just have to, because you can't get away from narcissistic people. You can't get
They're
away from
everywhere.
yeah, these people are everywhere. So the minute you say I can't deal with this woman, or that woman is a 3-0 this, or that woman is this, or that woman is that, same thing go for a man. It go both
Mhm.
ways. Then you are not ready to be the leader of a household.
Mm-mm.
Because if it comes too easy, baby, that means you ain't work for it. You ain't
Mhm.
work for it. If you got a woman in the house and you are sure, and people had to teach her how to do this for a husband, do this for, no, that man is supposed to, as they say, structure. He doesn't know how to structure. He doesn't know how to do it. So I think you need to go back to class before you deal with me. And you can make me be quiet real quick. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
I'm very easy to deal with. Now my personality is strong. The thing is, it shouldn't be I don't deal with women with strong personalities. The question is, how do I deal with people with strong personalities? Because what if your boss have a strong personality? You would know how to deal with that boss, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. Uh, Dealing with people is the key. Exactly. So the minute you cut yourself short by saying, "I've never asked my wife to be submissive or follow me. She did it willingly. It may be actions, not my words." Exactly. So the minute y'all men say, "Oh, women went," oh no, 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 that means you ain't ready for life, baby. Because what if you get a male version of me? What you gonna do? And that's your boss. What you
They're
gonna
not
do?
ready. They're not ready for no alpha female. They're not ready. Men always say that they want a strong woman. They're not
Who
ready.
said not
Mm.
sugar, but that strong personality is. I'm just saying people just have strong personality. So the
Mhm.
question is, I'm not gonna ban this person from having a strong personality. How do I deal with people with strong personality is the question. How do I let it work in my favor? Because there is a way to shut them up. There is a way to mellow people out.
Mhm.
You just haven't found the way to do it. So now
Mhm.
you want to control me because you don't know how to do it. But
See,
I'm
the,
not.
the, the best way is that you back them into a corner and they ain't got no other recourse than to start fighting.
So that's how you know when
Yeah,
you
back
are
them
a
into a
real.
corner. That's my favorite position. Put them in the corner and see what they do.
They said back the rat up in the corner. Yep. That's an old say. Back the rat up in the corner. See what they do. So that is the real question. Like, how do I deal with people like that? How do I, like, me? Like, if I know somebody have a strong personality and I know they get aggressive fast, I go low.
When they go low, I go high.
No, what I mean by I go low is
Hey,
like now
Key.
my voice will lower, and now
Mhm.
why? Because that's going to make your voice now go lower. So that's how you got to learn how to control the environment. Go you don't go, okay, if this person is going a value 10, I'm going to go value 11.
Yeah,
No.
people don't understand how much a transformation that I've made. People will take it for granted because I'm such a calm person right now.
I
Y'all
can
have no
imagine.
idea.
I
Y'all
have
have
an
no
idea.
idea.
I
Okay, that's all
I
I'm
have
gonna
an
say. I'm
idea.
not gonna say nothing else.
I may not know a
Y'all
lot of
don't.
things that
Y'all
you've
don't want to
done.
see how I was 10 years ago. Mm-mm.
Yeah, but see, that would be one of the ways to do it. A person that, number one, is not going to argue by themselves,
Mm-mm.
right? So until that person, even if you have a kid, until that kid gets into the right, no, darling, mm-mm. And what did you say? And I make sure I speak really low. That's
Yep.
gonna, and once then they'll get lower. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? So the same trick will work for me. If I'm rah rah and I realize that, no, darling, you don't have to do all that. Okay, no problem. That's gonna make me look silly. So now I have to calm down. So you could deal with anybody. You just have to know how to do it. Oh God,
You
get
have
him
to know
East
how to
Dad, get
speak.
him East Dad, get him. I mean, get East Dad. He said 10 years ago you couldn't fight. Get him,
I,
get him.
I have I have nothing to say to Issa because I'm not that woman. I'm not that woman. I'm the calm, chill Marlene now. I refuse to go backwards.
Oh, Marlene was a mean girl 10 years.
I wouldn't say a mean girl. I wasn't angry. That's what I'll say. I
She
wasn't
was
angry.
she was a 0 to 10. 0 to 10. Act like you want something if you want to. That's what she was.
Yeah. My family used to always say, "Please leave her alone. Please leave her alone," because they knew by my eyes, because my eyes get very wild when I'm upset, and they would just look at me and say, "Everybody, just get up and walk away," because they knew. All right,
Uh-uh.
see y'all later.
Oh, he said, stop telling my secrets, Marlene. She ain't heard my calmer voice. Has she know my passive pettiness? Now we ain't
Yeah.
gonna do the pettiness now, cause I love to do. We can do pettiness
Oh,
all day.
nobody loves
Just
petty
take,
more than
take,
me.
take out the pettiness. If you take out the pettiness, everything else is good. But but men don't understand that because they think what they say. Oh, I know. Nah, ninja, you just don't know what to do. Hey, Bronze.
Hey,
Hopefully, all you
Bronx.
guys have hit that like as y'all came in. Hopefully, the likes match you
Yeah,
guys'
how my
people.
likes doing?
How are these likes
I don't
doing?
know. I don't have the likes turned on, so I don't know how many I
And,
got, but y'all like it.
and if y'all able to share, share.
Yeah, share, because this is a good deep conversation we having.
Oh, I don't see the likes.
Yeah, you can't see the lights. I didn't turn it on in the studio.
Oh, I
So
didn't know you had to turn. I didn't know
yeah,
you could
you
do that.
do. If you don't, only the person who sees the chat, you'll see if you like it, but the rest of the chat won't. You have to say put enable chat.
Oh,
Yeah.
and when we get off, I'm gonna have to speak upon this podcast stuff. I don't know if I'm not. I don't know if I'm liking it, not liking it, because I'm like it's the same. It's it's basically a playlist. That's all that it is. Like,
Yeah, that's what
well,
it is.
where does so it's the same audience. It doesn't go to a different audience. It's just
Well,
put
not
in.
according to YouTube.
Yeah, you have to explain that to me. Yeah,
Okay,
so
no problem. I'll explain it to you because I just went through the same thing and I can see I've gotten about, because you can see in your back office, you can see how many subscribers you get if you look in your studio from that podcast. And I see I've gotten maybe about 8 or 9 from this podcast playlist.
oh, I'll have to see
Mhm.
how I look for that. We we get a little petty joke going on. Now petty jokes is I like people who can joke. I like people who do a little petty. That's beautiful. When people just want to live, I'm saying, live and have fun. All this instruction stuff drive. I'm like, I'm not in hold up now. I'm one for following rules. Don't get me wrong. But after that, shit, I'm not. I want to. I thought I. It's like it took me 18 years to get grown, just so I could be free.
Oh,
I,
it took you 18 years to get grown?
I'm talking
Not
about
me.
legally. I'm talking about legally.
I was grown from
I,
about 11.
I mean, I said legally,
Oh, legally.
legally, so I
Yeah,
could be
my mom
free.
used to always tell me, back up, little girl.
I'm talking about legally free, so I can do what I want to do legally.
Okay.
I'm not trying to go back to having instead of calling it a mom and dad, calling it a husband, but really going dad. Nah, son, nah, y'all got me twisted. No, I'm not. I couldn't wait. No, no. I did my time. I did my time already. I'm not going back to jail. No, I'm not. No, I did
No, we're not doing
not.
that. We're not
I
doing it. It's not worth it.
no, I did my time where yes, mommy, yes, daddy, yes, 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 no. Now it's I'm going no. I ain't going back to that. I want to sleep. No, this better be done such and such. When I wake up, I want to see such and such and going to the store. This don't no, no. I done did my time. I did my time. I'm not going back. And how they
Wow.
say, well, you're gonna be old and lonely. Now I'll be old and happy. I don't see too many old lonely people. I see a lot of old happy people.
You do?
Hmm.
Oh, I don't. I see most of the time. See, that's the thing. Working with older people, which I do for my job, I see them because they were so busy focusing on, trying to get the money, and they got these beautiful mansions, all this money, but because how they treated people when they were getting the money, now
That
they don't have anybody to enjoy it with
no,
because mm,
that's a
that's
difference.
not good.
That's a difference when you mean how you treat people. That's what made
Yeah.
you lonely. But the ones who treated people nice, she said, I'm an older, happy person. Exactly, Papa. That's what I'm saying. Some people, a majority of all the older people, and then these young kids think we jealous of them. They don't understand. We party for two different reasons. Y'all party for the moment. We party like this our last day on earth. So us older folks get down. Okay? We
When
get
when it
down.
used to be the real parties, I
Yeah.
mean,
Y'all
you remember when
right.
the parties was like it started on Thursday and it ended on Sunday?
Right. They party for the now. We party like
Mhm.
this might be our last party. So we go all out, you know. So we have fun. I don't know what y'all can't out fun us, just that we ain't stupid enough to put out parties on social media. And
Yeah, see, back in the day, we partied before we was taking photos and selfies of everything.
yeah, and then now at our older age, we still keep that same concept because we don't like Lord. I don't know who gonna be the next because it gotten so bad that in our world is who's gonna be the next one. Like that next phone call, we don't we want to pick up the phone because we don't want to hear well, such and such. We tired of saying RRP. So when we do the as we start to shrink in people, we party like it's our last party and we have fun.
I know that's right. I
Because
feel like people are I don't know. I feel like
these
people
young
these days,
kids,
younger people, they're too, I don't know, rigid, like stiff. I don't know. I don't know. That's a whole different vibe.
yeah,
The
but
younger people now,
yeah,
it's like
because
I appreciate and there's things I can learn from the younger people, but they're a different vibe than even from 10 years afterwards. It's a whole different vibe.
yeah, that's just like they decided, girl, they be messing with me. They're gonna
Hmm.
stop messing with me. I don't know why they think I like to do favors. I don't, right? But I just happen to always do. I'm a whole walking contradiction. Please pay me no mind. But I'm a contradiction to the T, right? So they set me up, right? So I meet with the lady and I'm like, oh, I can't stand her.
Oh, before you say that, Sugarlove, tell them you work with children.
I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
I'm gonna get to that. Right? So I'm like, I can't stand her. She lied to me. And one thing, I spoke to her and she said it was gonna go this way, and she knew she had other plans. I said, me and her, we can't speak. I can't deal with her, period. And I'm like, yeah. And then this one was running for assemblywoman. She lost because she had the wrong people working for her. She should have fired all of them. Wasn't professional at all. So then I'm thinking I'm talking about them and me. Once I talk about you, it is meant for you to take it back. Because that means I should not have said it. If I said it, it is meant for you to take it back, do what you do with it. I don't care. Right? But next thing you know, the lady who runs the Democratic Club, oh, I'm gonna call you. So I'm like, all right, fine. I don't care for her either. I'm like, fine. Then next thing you know, she calls me back. She's like, click the link. So I go to click the link. So the next thing you know, we're doing Zoom and we're just talking, and I'm talking about my kids, and I'm trying to get them to do more in their community, blah, blah, blah. Then they go, oh, we're having a meeting, and I'm like, yeah, I want to speak to the people with these young kids who does a Democratic club because I want some of these. I want to do my own. Baby, the next day, people calling me talking about congratulations. I said, for what? They say, yeah, you're the president of the steering committee that runs the youth division. I said, what? What? I'm like, so I'm like, I didn't ask for. All I was doing was talking about people. I didn't say I wanted no damn position. Oh, I'm like, how do I get myself into these things all the time? If I talk nice about people, I get a position. If I talk bad about people, I get a position. That's why I tell people, these kids all the time, you never know who's watching you. You never know who you know. Because I have, thank God, knock on wood, I've never really, besides maybe twice, had really filled out an application for a job. I always just, people always get they just gives them to me. And
Mhm.
I'm like, God dang it. Then now, the elections is coming up. So then now, oh yeah, we want to do this and we want to do that. And I'm like, first of all, we didn't talk about my terms, how I want. It's not a paying job though, but my terms, like who's on this board, who's going to work with me. Like we didn't talk about any terms. They just gave it to me. So now I'm a political person now. And I'm like,
Hmm.
and I don't like politics.
No,
I
you
tell
don't
you,
want to get involved in politics. Me
but
either. I
I'm a
don't get
walking
involved in politics.
right. But that's why I said I must be the most walking contradiction, that because they know I do not come out. But when I do come out,
Yep.
they know when people see me, they're like, God damn, is she gonna say something nice or not nice? Because I'm gonna tell it the way it is, baby. I'm gonna tell it because
Yep.
these kids are suffering. That's why I can't understand all, especially these grown ass men who sit up there and brag about the money they have, and talking about women all day, men all day, but the kids are suffering. Like, show me you out there with these kids. Show me you out there showing these kids how to get the bag. Show me that uh you're running programs like teaching these kids about stocks and taxes and all the things they took out of school. And that's how you will impress me. What's in your pocket don't impress me. Because when you die, you never know when your time is coming. You ain't taking none of that with you. But the impression that you leave on people is what lasts forever. Because
Mhm.
whatever you did that was an impression on somebody, they're gonna tell somebody, they're gonna tell somebody, and that's what makes you live forever.
Yeah. What is that saying by Maya Angelou? People may forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel.
Yes.
Hmm.
Trying to get my oldest grandkids away from that, if only for one bit moment with life. Wait for it. What's
Yeah. We were talking about the cameras and how I said it's a problem, like being in management, and like the younger people, every time they're on their phone all day, they're doing TikToks, they're all of that, they're doing IG, everything, everything is recorded, everything is recorded. And I was like, they don't take a moment to just enjoy a moment without it being recorded. Everything must be recorded to put on social media.
legacy is correct. But
Yeah.
but hey, I'm starting to get hip to that because baby, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a problem child. Maybe I'm
Mm.
just a problem child. I've been minding my business in Walmart, right?
Oh, this sounds like it's gonna be good. Let me get my drink out.
I'm minding my business. So I'm in that chair, that little scooter thing that go around the thing. I be zoom zoom knocking everything down, right? Everybody get out the way. I don't have no license. I'm not responsible. Move, right? So people get out my way. So I'm getting to the door. So my friend, she got the car right there. So any other store, I just roll it out there and I just put the stuff in there. So the boy was like, "You can't take the cart out there, right?" I said, "Okay, no problem, but I need a shopper cart to put my stuff in to put in the car." So he starts doing that. And then next thing you know, I said, "Well, are we about finished?" But either way, I forgot that he had the other people. He come out of nowhere. You just miserable. I don't know. Really? I said,
No,
"Oh
he
Lord."
didn't.
I said, "Have mercy, Lord. Jesus, helpful. Baby." I'm like, Brandon. Only miserable people will call a miserable person. I said some other things too. It just won't be recorded what I said to him. But man, then I'm like, and go get matter of fact, I'm like, you know what? Sit here, do your job. You are of service. You're not servicing, so you're no use for me. Where's your manager? So then now the other chicks, they decide to want to take his side. We don't have a manager. The manager's way over there. So I says, you mean to tell me if y'all push the button right now and something happened, there's no manager coming? I said, oh, really? See, what he should have did was let me walk out that store. So then next thing you know, the manager comes and I got everything on tape. That's why I said it suits me sometime too. So it was like, I talk to you if you take me off the camp. Why? Because Brandon over there, and I said some things about Brandon. I was gonna say Brandon don't understand. I couldn't make you lose your job, Brandon. Because when you don't know, you're dealing with a person who is on a managerial level or a boss level. I know
Yeah, people don't understand who they're talking to.
my they don't. So I know what to do that will go against your rule books that they will have to fire you. But God said, no, don't do that to little Brandon. Don't do that to little Brandon.
Yeah.
But I couldn't believe Brandon said that. I'm like, where did he get that from? I just, then he goes, then the manager tried to be smart. Well, the lady over there said that you didn't pay for your juice. Because I have my, I got to have my grapefruit juice on my ginger ale. But then
Mhm.
being out and I go shopping, it just so happened the man had it in the case. So when I put it in the car, it's already in the case. I don't have to put one in at a time. He said, you didn't pay for that. I said, where's she at? Let's go. She over there. No, I don't want, let's go to her right now. She said, I didn't pay for this. Let's go. Because at this point, I already showed my receipt. So I'm not digging back in the bag for it. We're not going to do that. I did that the first time. We ain't doing it again. Show me. Because when I pay for my stuff, I pay for it way over there. So what this lady said, well, miss, you know what? You win. You win. You win. Let's go. You can go. I thought so. And Brandon, next time, when people just let people walk out the door, you won't have these problems, Brandon. Because his name was, he got mad because I kept calling him Brandon. But baby, the things I said to Brandon, I know he was mad as heck. Cause I was like, don't play with me, little boy. Don't play with me. You don't want this mouth.
Mm-mm.
You don't want none of this. Cause that was uncalled for, you know? But
Yeah.
a lot of these kids, like I said, not even kids, adults too. Your main job when you walk out your door is to come back home. That is your job of life. When you walk out your door, is to come back in your house. Your job is to do any and everything possible to get back home. You work at these stores or you have these jobs and you're thinking you're about that life, but your boys ain't with you. What if you dealing with somebody who is mentally ill, didn't take
Mhm.
their medicine? They can have a lot of problems. I've seen it too many times where
Yeah.
you see where these people who get paid the least that they can get paid, work the least hours fighting for these stores and losing their lives over these stores. And these companies just replace you.
Yep.
That's all they do is
I
replace you.
hate to see when and especially management thinks that they're trying to control you and tell you what to do, and then they fire people. Then people come right back and smoke them or do whatever.
They did that in Walmart. They was remember that guy. That guy went off in Walmart and pow them
I
and
know.
at a meeting. That's why I said you. When I used to work in a kids store, I was KB Toys before they closed it down.
Oh
People were
wow, that's a throwback.
Yeah, people were bringing me gifts because I knew I was the cashier. That's it. The manager come and they be like, "Oh well, can you train?" I'm not training nothing. That is above my pay rate. You brought me
Mhm.
here to be a cash. That's your job.
I hate
So,
when people try to delegate their job onto you. But
mm-mm,
I said, am I going to be compensated for
I
that?
don't. Mm-mm,
I'm not going
I
to be compensated. Don't ask me to
I
do
don't
it.
say nothing, and I don't say nothing to nobody. She just better have quick eyes, and she better catch on really quick. Because I'm not saying nothing. I'm not doing nothing. That's his job. That's what he get paid the big bucks for, the training, the that. Because soon as that same manager you're helping, it's gonna be the same manager that lower your hours, be the same
Mhm.
manager that when the company say, "Oh, you gotta let some people go," that's gonna be the same manager that have to let you go. But I tell people you are supposed to treat people with respect at all times, even if they're rude. You're supposed to treat them with
Yeah.
respect.
I just got through that situation where I had a management who doesn't know how to be a manager. A manager. She's asking me about something when she's the one that gave me all of that confidential information. Why are you asking me? Who did I have? And you have all of that information. I said, what you trying to do? I said, that's a HIPAA violation.
Mm,
And then she don't say anything. I was
mm.
like, don't play with me. You don't know my background. You don't know who you're playing with. I know
Yeah.
about the laws and regulations. You're not supposed to talk about those things. I said, if you want to know, you need to go and look in the record. Be
Ex-
asking me that outside, and then next thing you're gonna say I violated HIPAA and
Or
need
they
to have
ask,
you in court and
or they
ma'am.
ask, who did you get the information from? Oh, Marlene told me. Like, damn. Then, oh, well, it was Marlene. Well, you shouldn't have said this and that.
And then next
Yep.
thing I'm in an office with two people looking at me down their glasses. No, ma'am, we're not doing that.
Mm-mm. And a lot of times, like I said, you never know who you're talking to. You don't know what people know. So, like when you see strangers, I tell you, your main job is to make it home. I mean, not to play the game,
Yeah,
keep
it's
your
not worth
job.
it.
And no, it's not. And y'all young ones, y'all thinking y'all got it like that because y'all about that life.
Yeah,
But when
I
you,
got it going on. You know, I'm everything,
yeah,
but
but when
you
you
ain't
at work.
nothing when you under the ground. What
Yeah,
are you
number
about
one.
then?
And then your boys ain't there. You at work. Your boys ain't there. Your homies is not there. They're not there. You're by yourself.
And also, they ain't gonna be there with you when you're in jail or prison.
No.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
I seen that so many times working with disadvantaged youth. They do everything to get you behind bars, but when you get behind bars, ain't none of them coming to visit you.
Nope.
Hmm.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Seen it too many times.
I've seen it. I have, and especially if you got family members, them the ones I'm sorry to say, you better not forgot about them because I'm not going to jail. So I'm not going to see you.
Mm-mm.
That's your girlfriend's job. Remember the one who wanted to replace us? That's her job.
It's crazy the things that happen is happening out there. People think I know when I was younger, boy, I'm telling you, couldn't nobody tell me that I wasn't raw. Nobody couldn't tell me I wasn't raw. And my mom was always trying to protect me. She's like, you no, you're doing too much. Like you need to stay out the streets. People you think who your friend are your friends, they're only your friends while you have money or you can do things for them. But once you stop serving a purpose, they're done with you.
Hmm. I had to learn that too. I had to learn that
Mm,
too. And let me tell you,
yeah. Yeah. Same thing, the word hospital life. Hmm.
y'all know I'm sipping. I'm so sorry, but I have to be me. So I sip on my show. I have to sip on her show too.
Yeah.
So, matter of fact, I'm sorry. Would you like some ginger ale, Marley?
Oh, yeah. I don't want any ginger ale. I already have my snacks. So that's when
Oh,
I'm muted. You don't even know. People don't even know. I be snacking during my show.
I've been thinking I'd be muting, but I don't know. Miss Nicole smells it through the mute. I don't know how she does it.
Yep, I
Right.
put it on
So
mute and I take my little snack and I be munching over here.
I used
And
now I don't even care. After Nicole don't blow me up 50 million times, I'm in mute. I'm like, how the heck does she know? I'm like, damn, Nicole, how do you know? Shut. She'll eat it. So you see how she do it on the side.
I
I
see
be
it.
I be mute. Then after she blow me up, that's when I'll go unmute and go like, F it. She already told her. I'm like, how does she know? Then she did the same thing with the lady Deanna. And like, yeah, I hear you tip it on a coffee. She was like, how do you? So after a while, I'm like, forget about it. So I'm
Yeah,
sipping.
don't even try. She just knows.
She just knows.
Yeah, Wanda, I was for real. Not anymore.
Yeah.
I changed my whole life because it's a long story time where I was doing lots of things until I went. it will change you when you see your mama and your daddy cry. That changed me. I was like, okay, I'm done with that life.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny again for the people who don't know the old Marlene. Again, you would think that you know people because they sound nice and they look like nice and they sound intelligent, not knowing it's a that. And even though you change your life, that don't mean the person is dead. That mean the
Mhm.
person is
Oh, I
just
can activate it. That's the
that's
thing. People
it's
don't know.
that's
I
only
can
what it say.
activate
It's
it.
just sleeping. It's sleeping.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I said they don't want the real patois to come out.
She's sleeping. Do not wake her up, please. She
Yeah, my
likes.
my mom and my dad begged me. She said, "Please let that Marlene die. Please let her die. Rest in peace."
I think what me was from an early age. I have what made me change is I started even at the age of 20 or something. I started just again. I'm minding my business. I don't know how I get into stuff, but I started taking care of kids since then, like keeping them off the street, like finding them things to do. Like even I had all them young kids. I had all the young kids playing spades. They was all spade masters. We had them sit in the park. I used to do like tournaments, and then on the other side, whoever played whoever played chess, whoever played dominoes, played dominoes, and we would be out there till the break of dawn, because we was right across the street from the precinct. The park was across the street from the precinct. And it was the bright light, and then we had the music playing. And the parents used to be like, "Oh, thank you," because my son is not out. That's when they were selling the crack and stuff really bad. So
Mm.
so then I had
That
to
sounds like about
mature,
1980 something.
right? So I had to mature because I'm older than them, but they knew how far to go too, because you could still get it. But that's what's like kind of slowed me down because I had to slow them down. So if
Mm.
they see me acting a certain way, how am I going to be able to tell them not to do it? Now,
Right.
before,
That's what I said. For myself, I made a change because I said I'm getting older, but also I got younger ones in my family
hmm
and my friends' family looking at me like that's how you're supposed to act as an adult. See, I didn't want to be a person to be a hypocrite to say, "Hey, you need to stop doing this and stop doing that," but on the side, I'm doing it. No.
right,
Mm-mm.
that was me. That's exactly my story. Like even today, like I like let's say that we had the Jaguar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now everybody sees stuff differently. But I learned a lot. I'm like, wow. I didn't realize how much hatred people have in a heart, number one. I mean, like you have a lot of hatred. And then number two, a lot of y'all don't understand mental illness.
And also included in that sugar love, people have to understand a lot of that hatred starts with themselves. For a
Mm-hmm.
long time, I didn't even know I hated myself. But
I,
by the way you move, your actions, you can say you love yourself, scream it from the
mhm,
rooftops, but how do you
mhm.
treat yourself? And
Yeah,
what kind of foolishness are you accepting?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I realized the people who are supposed to be down with you, I'm like, all these years, it was because y'all thought, because I break down stuff the way it is, but it was never done out of hatred.
Mm.
It's because I do commentary. That's what I do. So I call it what I see. But there is no emotional attached to it for me. For a lot of people, there was a lot of things they are emotionally attached to. I am not. So I
Yeah.
guess when they figured, oh, well, you spoke to her, whatever, but it wasn't her, it was the people. And I'm like, all of y'all here because y'all thought that, I had hatred and I was supposed to, no, nobody's going to tell me what to say or what to do. Girl, I got so mad. I started to have my count start from zero. I was blocking everybody, right?
Oh, I think I remember that
When I
phase.
get mad, no, I just
Mhm.
get like that. No, I'm talking about from the people that I've been knowing for years. I'm like,
Oh, I thought you was talking about when you
right,
made a new account.
not an account I've been made. I was gonna take this my regular account just because I was mad at everybody. When I get mad, I get mad. Then I don't want to be nobody friend. That's just me, right? But
Mm.
then I had to think about you can't do that no more. But it just taught me like that. People look how quick you could be with people, and look how quick they could turn on you.
Oh my. Oh, and the people that you think would never.
Mhm.
And those are the first people. I think I'm gonna make that another show. But the people that you think is your ride or dies, that's the first people who gonna stab you in your back. I'm just being honest.
I was like, whoa, that's why I
Mhm.
don't do shout outs no more. Like I may do it like I may do it I might do it like sometime, but I'm like, I'm not advertising. I'm not being the nice person. Yeah, I didn't appreciate the nice person, so now she's gone.
And guess what? The nice person always gets run over. You become a doormat because they expect when you're the nice person, because that's what happens to me a lot. When you're the nice person, the people will just keep coming back and back, and they will never stop, but they won't do anything nice for you. You can be, it's kind of like a YouTube burnout. You can be with somebody in their live or videos every single time and ask me how many times they will do the same thing for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
See,
then
that's the thing that I had to learn, to support people who support me. Even
yep,
though you could like somebody's content, but if they're not writing for me, because that's how I got burnt out. I've been, we've been in this game of YouTube since 2006, 2007. That's how long I've been on YouTube. So I've seen a lot of crazy stuff, and you will burn out following behind people. I ain't
uh,
gonna do it. I gotta really ride for you. But when you show and you turn
mm-hmm,
your back, I know
mm-hmm,
how to do the same thing.
baby. And I was like, now, and then they got one night they got me back. I said, you know what? I ain't gonna see y'all in 2 weeks. Bye. They were like, girl, I got the emails. You don't make us wait 2 weeks. Hell no, no. And
Mhm.
no, mm-mm.
I know.
Y'all acting all funky. So okay, fine. Cause number one, they don't know how it takes for somebody to get number one to have empathy and sympathy. Yeah, because you're not there yet. And that doesn't mean you excuse any of people behaviors. But it took us a lot to get there where we can speak with understanding people without, flipping out. We can hear each other out. We can communicate. We can go back and forth. But we had to work to get there.
Yeah.
You know, people don't understand that's a job to want to improve yourself. That's
Yeah.
a job to want to say, I want to be a better person every single day.
Because there's times where I don't feel like being the nice person. Sometimes you want to be, like, why can't I be immature sometime? Why can't I do some cutthroat and underhanded things? But you can't when you make certain movements, but you also can't let people use you. I had to learn to strike a balance with that.
Yeah, I had to too, because
Hmm.
I go to Flip
Like, don't
City,
get played. Don't get
like
played. Don't get used.
I
Mm-mm.
go to Flip City in a minute. But I had to also know that whatever you do, you are responsible for.
Yeah.
So the minute you play dirty or you get in the mud with somebody, you're just as dirty as them now.
Hmm.
And I don't feel like getting dirty. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
left that life behind. I promised my mom and my
uh-huh.
daddy I was going to leave that life behind. Like all that dirty, grimy stuff. Like you can't control what other people do, but you can maintain your character.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And then people want you to break that. And not knowing that, I don't need for you to tell me what to do and how. I know how I am, and I know why I am the way I am,
Yep.
because you know what? The same thing that I give people, because I want them to give it back to me. So if I'm showing somebody mercy or not disrespecting them, because that's how I want somebody to do with
Yeah,
me.
or you're not calling them out. Like, you know how many times? Ooh. I'm telling you, Sugar Love, so many times since I've been on YouTube since 2007. You know how many times I wanted to make a video and say, and do a rant and rave about somebody on YouTube? But what does that show about my character?
I don't know if I wanted to do that because
Oh,
I want I
ooh, girl,
because
yes,
I
I
because
have.
I'd be so
Mhm.
mad. I want to see you in person. So what I do is like I would just bring it up and I'll just say what I feel about it and just leave it alone. I don't like put the names in it.
Oh
I'll
no,
just
I never put the names, but I'm saying
I'll
I've
yeah, but
wanted to
I
before, but
am
I never have because that's not who I am.
no, but I am gonna say something. That's gonna always. I am gonna say something. I'll just be sick, but I'm gonna put it in a way, in an adult type of way. I'm gonna put it in the most adult type of way as possible. I'm not gonna stoop down to your level, but I'm not. But and like me, I don't like nobody that much. I don't even watch people that much. Like you, of course, I
Mhm.
watch you and a couple of other
Yeah, I
people. Of
have
course,
certain
I
people I
watch.
watch, but other
So
people like I just dip in from time to time. But
let me
some
tell
people
you,
I watch, like I watch you, I watch The Word, I watch Wanda. There's certain people I watch,
right,
but other people, yeah, and you got to
right.
be
So,
careful because it's just like eating. Like some people, their environment is toxic, and before you know it, you're going to be toxic too, following
yeah,
behind them.
exactly. And then it benefits me though because I did one video, right? And then the lady sat there and cause see, you can say what you want to say, even in my real life and even on this YouTube life. My presence alone is going to make you act right. Just my presence. So she sits there, she takes my video. Cause me, I might take it. I don't care because you is nothing. You're just introducing me to a whole new audience because most of the video they was like, who is Sugar? Nobody never heard of me. Now you have whole new audience, right? She took every
She just gave you some free marketing.
yes, she took she couldn't say what she want to say. So the girl just left my panel and then for some reason my video wouldn't work. It went mute. It did everything, but the universe would not let my video play in her thing. I don't know why.
Oh, I already know why.
So then the girl says, she's striking your channel. So when somebody says she said that, I went over there and I said, oh, I said, if you want to use the video, you could use the video. I would never strike your channel. So the girl is stuck there like she's like a deer with like with the highlights, just stuck,
Hmm.
frozen, right? So she couldn't say nothing bad because she didn't know. Because even though you could say that you're not going to strike people, you could still strike people if you want to. So she don't know what to do now, right? Hey, April Showers. So
Hey,
then
April.
what she did instead was she put all the despicable things that people had to say and she highlighted it. I said, this bitch, right?
Oh my
But
God.
then I said, you know what? I ain't watch it no more. So somebody else must have seen, have how you put it, the video circulates. One, I had 800 and something people in my room. I don't know what was said because I don't watch these people. So they
Hmm.
must have wanted to see what my response was. I said, but damn, what did she say? I got 808 people in my room. Well,
Oh, wow,
what
that's amazing.
I said, well, what did she say? what what did whomever say? So I guess they was waiting to see my response. But my mom always said, what you don't know won't hurt you. So I don't know what was said. But for that whole week, girl, I had 500 and better. Then I said,
Yeah, I remember when your live was popping. I think at one point, didn't you get over 1,000 people in there?
that was because whomever said something in their whomever video, they came back there to get my response to see what I was going to respond. That's why all them nosy people were there.
Yeah, they
But
wanted to know your response, but you didn't give them anything.
right, I'm never going to give you what you want. If you didn't want it, I'm gonna give it to you. But if you want it, I ain't gonna give it to you. Right? Reverse psychology, right? Being that I know you want it, I'm gonna make you
Yeah,
scratch
when
your
I know
head.
you want something, you ain't gonna get it.
I'll make you scratch your head all daggone night. But the thing is that I don't watch them, so I don't know what was said. But I
Yeah.
know something was said because they kept coming up in there. Then I said, you know what? Let me just. I don't. I know how to get stop this. All you gotta do is just change the topic. All the fake people go away. That
Jay said he wants it.
Jay, you don't want none of this. Believe me, Jay, you don't want none of this.
That's hilarious. Yeah, people think that they want stuff, but I'm telling you, you know, you have so much power. People underestimate their power. You have a power to confuse people. You don't have to get yourself all worked up and excited about stuff. You got so much power inside of you.
Because I always go back. I always tell people when you get confused, always go back to why you started. So anything in life, if you get confused with and things start getting like really hectic and out of control, stop, and think about why you started it. Like, what was the purpose of you starting the YouTube? Go back to that. Like, even when I see people, even when they go to work or they do why, like, what was the purpose of it? So then go back to that. That's how you start off fresh. Go back to why you started it. And then look how quick it all went away.
Yep.
It all went right away. That still don't change the people who I thought that I wasn't mad with them. I don't know them. I was just mad at the people who was supposed to been down. And then they sent the girl, they was sending people out to get me. I'm like, girl, I'm like, please, if you don't have nothing else better to do with your day, because see, that's one of them days. I'm probably getting an 8 hour show. I'm gonna make you sitting there for 8 hours. How about that? I'm gonna make you sitting there for 8 hours. You not gonna do that with a blink.
I know you can.
Shoot, I could do that with no problem. I'm bored anyway. I am bored anyway. So I'm gonna make you sit here for 8 hours for nothing. Cause the person's
Remember when we used to do them lives all day from the morning till the night?
baby. We used to remember we used to applaud each other when we used to do the 12 hours. We used to
Remember
applaud it
them
like
12-hour lives? We used to
you
start at
did
8,
it,
8 a.m.
you
and
did it.
close at like 9:30 at night.
We used
Mm.
to, yeah, because people don't understand that's what built us, not all this other bull crap. We worked
Yeah,
hard.
because that's who you are.
That's we worked hard.
We worked
We
hard.
we
And
didn't.
we weren't like we never had like no 20,000, 30,000. We got our 1K the right way.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't buy no views. So of course other people would get, 10,000, 20,000. But how did they get it? Hmm.
Yeah, and me, I don't care about the views. I never cared about the views, and I never cared about like how many people. Because if you, I didn't have to like pick one hot topic. I didn't have to throw nobody under the bus. Because then that means you're gonna have to continue to do it. Because once the subject changed, the people go with them. But if your subject sort of kind of stays the same, then your people stays with you. Because that's the subject
Mhm.
that they're there for. So once the beef is over, then now you got to start a new beef. You now you have to continue the beef because that's what the people is there for. Or if you're throwing
That's what they
somebody under
want.
the
People
right.
love hot tea.
Yeah, and they
Mhm.
love to see the worst. I don't care about what somebody did 20 years. Like, oh, I'm going to expose. That person did that 20 years ago. Why would I bet that person now 40, 50 grandparents? They did that. You pulling up their records for
Yeah, when they was like a kid.
like who cares?
Like,
Like
hasn't everybody done stupid stuff when they were a kid? Come on.
and they're like, oh man, I got some stuff. Or they got, and then I realized, oh my God, my page has turned into a therapy page. And I'm like, y'all gonna have to start paying me. No, I'm not doing it for free anymore. Don't email me no
Yeah,
nothing. Send me some
I'm gonna
money.
start coming over there and saying, "Sugar, I need help with."
God damn. I've been like, shush. I don't know. I have felt out everybody business, everybody abuses. I'm like, God damn, I am not your therapist. So
Mm-hmm.
the lady comes out of nowhere just the other day, and I was just talking regular, and she comes out of nowhere and she says, you are a healer." I'm like, nah, no, I rebuke that. I don't know. I
Yeah, you
rebuke it.
are a healer. I don't care what you say,
I
sure. When I
rebuke
first
it.
came to your page, I said, "Oh yeah, she makes connections and she helps people." Mhm,
Mm,
you do.
I rebuke it. I want to get paid now, damn it. Sure, they ain't doing it for free. I'm sick of it. So I'm like, how do you turn it off? I'm like, I'm sick of
You
y'all
can't
people.
turn it off. People know who you are now.
People would email me and blah blah blah, and I just thought I would tell you. I don't want to hear your story, damn it. No, 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 no.
And they'll just tell you freely their story.
I'd be like, damn, shoot, and you ain't getting mine. So I hopefully you don't
Mm-mm.
think. I hope you don't think it's give a bone, get a bone. I ain't got no bones for you, but because you ain't getting
Yeah.
mine. I don't like nobody on anything about my story. I'm going to tell it myself. So you're gonna always get the goods from me.
Yep.
But if you
I
don't get
tell my story on my side.
right, so you don't have to sneak a phone call or act like you're my friend to get to know. I'm gonna tell you what I want to tell you.
And
So,
nothing more.
exactly. And you're gonna get it from me. It ain't no, well, let us be friends. And if I do speak to somebody like off YouTube, again, the story is for free. Once I tell somebody something, you can do whatever you want to do with it. But because technically, everything technically, even if we were like hot headed or tempered up, we still did normal stuff. It ain't like I robbed people and I ain't been back in jail. I ain't popped nobody. I ain't do none of them real things. So all the other little things is normal. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
But you
normal.
know what? What I find is that people always, it's the most judgmental people that judge people.
Mm.
Mm,
And
that's another show. I'm writing that one down too.
that's another thing that I try not to do because now that I've heard 50 million people problems, right?
Hmm.
Everybody, but everybody has a story. But my main thing is, and Jaguar said it, but I have always said it. The triggers that you have are your triggers. You can't you cannot tell people this is triggering me. Your triggers are for you to fix because there's
Hmm.
1.6 billion people on this earth. You can't tell 1.6 billion people don't do this because I'm going to get triggered. It's up to you to work on your triggers. Can't nobody do that but you.
Yeah.
Even
I
though
had, that's what I had to do too. I was like, it's not nobody's job to fix me but me.
now
If
it would
you're
be
broken, then you need to find out why you're broken and fix it.
considerate if you could say to somebody that's triggering me, but at the end of the day, no, that is for you to fix. That's
Hmm.
your trauma. So, and I tell people all the time, I don't like when they put that on my page. Oh, this is triggering. Then you shouldn't be watching this. That's
Mm.
see anything like if you, especially if you watch something about Nature Boy, he's a triggering person. Why are you watching him?
Yeah, if you can't handle it, then leave.
And that's on any subject, any TV show, anything that's outside, any conversation.
Yeah.
Like even certain foods that you don't like, and even the smell of it can get you nauseous. You can't go into every store and say, you know what, you can't sell this no more because you know what, it's triggering me. I don't like it and it makes me nauseous. They're gonna tell you get out their store.
Right.
So
Mhm.
that's why people stay sick because they're too
They
busy
because they won't
invested.
get help.
Yeah, and they invested in not the person. They invested in the action that the person is doing. It's not really the person, it's the action. of what they're doing that's triggering you, because that's what somebody said, or that's how they treated you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not ready for it, then like, and that now you that's what gives you so much hate. That's what I'm just going to use Jaguar as a reference. If the hate for Jaguar, because her mouth is vile, but a lot of things, she was all basically all bark but no bite. Her mouth is vile, but it wasn't like because she's vile. It's because other people in your life was vile, and they said vile stuff like that. So that's what make you hate her, and then it makes you feel better when other people hate her. But in all reality, you would like the person who did that to you to you would want that to go to them, but it can't go to them, because either they're either not here no more, or you're not around them no more, but it stays with you.
Yeah, but it's just like when somebody does something to you and they pass away before you get to deal with it. It's the same thing. You didn't get to tell them how you felt or what they did to you, but you still need to deal with those issues so you don't put it off on somebody else. I see that all the time. People got major skeletons in their closet and then they come out of a bag on somebody else who has nothing to do with the situation.
Yeah, that's like abuse. A lot of people have been
Yeah.
abused, and so anytime they see somebody getting abused, I'm like, it's a way you do it. Yeah, it's you gotta learn the ways to do it. But then they'll turn right back into their abuse mind state once, if it being that nothing is happening to them. So people have to watch that word triggering. Even on TV show, they got to put triggering. I'm like, they know what the show is about. Like if you know you're watching a, a sex show, you know it's gonna be about. So if you don't watch them type of shows, then you have no business turning it on. Don't be like,
Hmm.
oh, well, this leg was there, and then she had her mouth. Hello, that ain't that the title of what the show is.
Yeah, that's what it's about. That's the content. So, what it is.
Yeah, like if people, especially like if you know drugs trigger you, that's like watching Scarface. But if you know drugs trigger you, why would you watch? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Or that's like a person who has a problem with alcohol
Yeah,
and going into a bar and then getting upset because other people are drinking. Like, oh, I can't be around this because it triggers me. So everybody's supposed to stop drinking because you don't.
yeah,
You know.
and then a lot
Yeah,
of
it's
people,
crazy.
a lot of people, that ruins a lot of relationships too, because even though you're talking to your spouse and you saying, well, that triggers me, and he does things. No, that's not your spouse's fault. That's on you.
Hmm.
That's on you.
I always ask the question, why does that trigger me? And then try to get to the root and
Mm-hmm.
find out why that
Mm-hmm.
triggers me and then root out whatever that is that's causing you to feel that way because nobody can take that power away from you without your permission.
People don't understand. I tell them time and
Yeah,
time
but
again.
that's years of
Life,
therapy that I
life,
just gave out for free game.
yeah, but life is a job. You have to work every single day with yourself. You have to put in more time at the job called you than any other job you will ever be at. Because every single day, you may think you had it under control, maybe you don't. So you have to keep on every single day working on yourself. So you have to, if that method didn't work, find another method. Some people like to move away because they think that it's going to go away. People keep thinking, no, you have to stand on your own 2 feet, stand in your own square, and say, hey, this happened to me, that happened to me, this happened to me. Now what am I
Mhm.
going to do?
And face it.
Yes, what am I going to do? Am I going to keep going down in the hole, or am I going to get myself out of this hole?
Right.
But instead of people looking inward, they like to project that. And a lot of times too, that's why a lot of marriages break up because
Yeah.
people think that their spouse
It's
are
supposed to fix it.
responsible, right? Or they got to walk around in eggshells, or you may have a spouse that's terrible and know that's your triggers, and then do something to trigger you.
Yeah, and
Then,
they do that on purpose so
but
that they can now call you out and say, "See, you're doing it again."
right, so it's up to you to say, Ninja, that ain't working.
Hmm.
That ain't working. Once people know it doesn't work anymore, you take back your power. But once you said the word triggering, that means you have not you get your power. You have given your power to whomever. Everybody holds your power because if it's a trigger, anybody can do it. So if you
Yeah, but
don't,
most of the time, people don't even know that they're triggering you until you tell them.
right, but it's not your job. But it's not their. If you tell them that they're triggering you, that's still not their job to fix you.
Mm-mm.
Now, would it be nice if they not do that? Yes. But it's 1.6 billion people on this earth.
Yeah,
So
what are
you
you going to do? Tell people to stop being themselves?
right.
People aren't going to do that. People aren't going to walk on eggshells. Like it happens a lot of times in families. Like we see family members, and we all know everybody has family members like this that they do things, and everybody just puts a blind eye to it and just say, "Oh, that's the way they are." But you are helping them to continue to be that way by not calling them out. Everybody keeps saying, "Oh, that's how they are." When you say that, you're saying it's okay.
See, with me, I just stay away. Because you know what? That is true. That is how they are. And I can call you out much as I want to. That doesn't mean you're going to change.
Oh no, I don't
Now,
mean that they're
now if
not going to
more
change.
people
I just mean that by when people say
not
that's how they
acknowledging it,
are, they'll just say, "Oh, like deal with it." That's they're not going to change. Well,
no,
that doesn't mean you have to deal with them.
the point I'm saying that if more people say, you know what, he's not, sometimes people let them be right. You are correct. So we all need to not bother this person. That person will act right when they realize nobody wants to be around you. When they
Hmm.
realize I don't have any friends. So yeah, that
Hmm.
is you. You're right. You're 100% correct. I ain't gonna argue with you. That's how you
Yeah, when
are. But that don't
somebody
mean
tells
people.
me who they are,
Hmm.
who am I to tell you you're not?
Yeah. So if now you're gonna be left alone, you ain't gotta worry about me. Okay, until you get some act right. Now, if I imagine if more people start calling people out and putting some action behind it is two different things. People think if you call them out, or I'm gonna give you the, I can't stand that word, brutally honest. If somebody's
Oh, that's just a license to say they're rude.
brutally honest, for me, people, the key word is brutally. That means that you're not putting no love and care in what you're saying. You can still say what you have to say to me without saying it brutally. So
Yeah,
now,
you don't have to ever be disrespectful or berate somebody else to get your point across.
right. And then a lot of things you tell people they know already. So
Oh,
what was
they know it all.
so what is your purpose of thinking you're telling me? Like, I know. Like, if you ain't gonna help me with it, then I don't, what's your brutal honesty part? What is that for? That's why sometimes you gotta ask yourself, like, what is that for? Like, you telling, like, I could talk to people on a baby. Now you come on now, get your hair done, and then which they know already. So next thing is, now how do I get them to come with me to a beauty? You know what I'm saying? That's what you would do. Sometimes they know they just can't get there for whatever reason. So your job is not to tell them what they know already. Your job is to
Yeah,
say,
I always say you have to show people how can I be of service to you, because
mm-hmm.
when somebody else knows that you're there to assist them, not to tell them what to do, people will move differently.
Right,
Hmm.
right,
And
right,
assist, not
right.
to control. And that's one thing I don't like is when people try to control me, because the ugly side will always come out. Nobody wants to be controlled.
Like I used to hate when people used to be like, because I be ear hustling. I be ear hustling. Can't I got
You
ears?
know it. I
What
know
you
it.
want? What you want me to do? I got ears. Oh, that person ain't got no food in their house and blah blah. I'm like, how do you talk about somebody say they don't have no food in their house? But I'd have preferred you said, you know what? I went and stopped and bought my neighbor some groceries. That would have been a
Mhm.
better way instead of dogging people out. They know maybe they don't, for every reason, they don't have no money. Maybe they blew their money. We don't know. But a better friend is let me pick up this or let me take them to dinner. People don't do, they rather talk about you, but they don't want to have no
Yeah, people will
solution.
stab you in the back quick.
And I said, hate like certain things when people talk about
Mhm.
people.
Talk
And
about people behind their back and in your face. They smiling. It's that hypocritical stuff. I don't vibe with that well. Once I find out that somebody's grimy like that, I start
baby,
backing up.
baby, I tell you, I
I
tell you,
don't deal in grimy.
I keep my roller skates on. I roll right on out of there. I would have my roller skates on, and I'd be around people just to be professional. And baby, when I get home, I don't want to hear no more about it. The day is over. To me, it's done. It's done. I don't want to hear people like to call and they want to keep talking about it. I can't keep hearing about the same thing too many times. I can't do that. My mind is
Yeah.
not built that way. I have to. Okay, we have to talk about some other things. There's something else we can talk about. I don't care about that person. I really don't. If people don't get it, when I leave you alone, I leave you alone.
Yeah. And then when they find out, oh, as soon as you step away from people, that's when they want to pretend to change.
Yeah, and then
I'm
I
going to
go
do right. I'm
away,
going to do right. And they know they ain't going to never do right.
and I go away in peace. I make sure I go away in peace. I won't mention you. I forget your name. You don't
Mhm.
exist. And I
Yep.
go and
Delete your number from the phone, everything.
mm-hmm.
And when
And
they call, I'll know the number and I'll say, "Who is this?" Oh, I don't. What's your name? Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
mean you didn't block them? You terrible. You didn't block them so you could go, who is this?
No,
Yeah.
I don't. I That's one thing. I don't block somebody unless you had to be like physically abusive to me or something. It got to be major for me to block you.
I have
Everybody else,
blocked. Oh yeah.
I'll let people call back because I believe in giving people second chances unless it was something that I can't forgive you for. That's the block. But if it's something else, like if you just, oh, one of my main things is if I have to be the only person calling you all the time. So I just recognize that and I'll stop calling you too. So
That's
when
the
they finally
one.
decide to call me, I know who it is, but I'll say, "Who is this?"
That's the one thing my son's
Yeah,
father taught
don't do
me.
that to me. I'm not one of those.
That's
I'm
the
not
one
saying I got to
thing.
talk to people every day, but if you ain't talked to me in 6 months, mm-mm,
Well, you could have
your number
called.
gone.
You could have called too now, but that's one thing I learned from my son's father. That's the one lesson I learned from him. And technically, that's the only person I ever blocked too, right? All right, damn, he got a phone. Stop calling me. He taught me to stop making myself so available.
Yeah, make
And
yourself
I
scarce.
learned that from him because like when he was out there doing his thing, I'm the one who was constantly calling. And then I got tired of calling. I'm like, well, hold up. People got their phones with them at all times. They're just not
Mhm.
answering you.
Yeah,
I said,
they don't want to
oh,
talk
okay.
to you.
They doing them. They just want to
Mhm.
answer you. I said, oh, okay, I got it. Okay. I'm like, oh, it's so I've learned. Now the bad part about it is I stopped calling people, period. Right. So
That's how I am too.
you get a phone call from me here and there, but now when people get my time, you're lucky. I've learned to not make myself available, so I don't like every invitation I turn down. If I get 10 invitations, I'm gonna turn down 9. I might go to one. I might go to one. I might turn down all 10 invitations,
Yeah,
but
if you are a person and you always make yourself available, I had to learn that being the 10th
mm,
child, if everybody is always, you know, scrapping for your attention, you're going to be burnt out and you're not going to get anything done that you want. You got to learn to not always be the first ring as soon as somebody rings. You
Mm-hmm.
hello. Uh-uh.
Yes.
They need to know that, yeah, I'm busy. Make it go to voicemail. I'll be sitting there doing nothing. But you can't always be available for
Yeah,
everybody.
that
Make it
I
go to
had to,
voicemail. Leave me a
baby.
voicemail.
That that was it. Wasn't nice how I had to learn, but but it doesn't matter. I had to learn it.
But you learned it. That's the
Right.
thing.
But now, baby, since I've learned that, a lot of people mad at me. Well, I've been calling you, and why didn't you come? Because I just spoke to you like 3, 4 days ago. We don't need to speak that often. I still love you. You know I love you, right? But if you know
Mhm.
when you need me, just text me. If you need me, text me. I'm there. No, but I've learned not to make myself available for everybody for whenever they need you. And then I've learned
Yeah,
for
but
me,
they don't make themselves available for you.
yeah, but then I had to learn too for myself, the same rule applies. Can I fix my own problems before I call people? Like, do I have to call somebody at the jump of a hat? Can you learn to do things? Even though I've always done things on my own, but the same will apply. Don't just call people too. So when I call people, I really want to know how. When I call people, I really want to know how you doing, how's everything, is everything going okay, is everything all right? So it's never
Yeah, you have to call. I don't like when people call you and it's always with a motive of them wanting something.
oh
When I call, it's with a pure motive. I'm not calling
yes,
to ask you for anything. Now, I'm not saying all the time because
I
sometimes
know what you're
we'll
saying.
need some things,
Right,
but
right,
for
right.
the most part, I don't want every time I call somebody, they think, oh, she wants this or that.
Or or my thing is, like, I don't know, of course you remember, like when the cell phones first came out, not the big dookie ones. I'm talking
Mhm.
about when they was available to us regular people. Remember they used to charge you by the minute.
Yeah, you had to pay for the
So,
minutes.
baby, you had 60 seconds to say what you had. No, sorry. You had 59 seconds to say what you have to say. Because on
Mhm.
that next second, it starts another minute. So
Mhm.
you have 50, and I still have that same motto. For me to go on to the next minute with you, you better make it compelling in them first 59 seconds. Or I'm gonna have to
The
go.
countdown has begun.
Yeah, because that's how it was so you made sure you bought the phone. But, hey, Nixon,
Hey,
you
Al
made sure
Nixon.
back in the day, especially when what was this Sprint first came out, you made sure you was when people was talking, you was looking at them seconds, boy. Looking at them
Mhm.
because
Cause and you only got it free after 5 p.m.
this was before that.
Oh, before that.
This when you had a plan, you may have got like 500 minutes, like for I'm just giving an estimation, maybe for the whole entire month. So you had to like make sure you had some minutes and left towards the end. Now you could talk more than that. But in the beginning, or you'll say, call me on the house phone, call me on the house phone. But if I was outside and you looking cute because you got this self, believe me, everybody head is looking at them seconds. Oh, okay, 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 bye. Right?
Mhm.
Or why you just couldn't say you was downstairs? That's all you had to say. Bye. People.
Yeah, I used to hate that. Like, why you waited until it was 1 minute and 5 seconds before you said what you had to say? You could have said cut that in 30 seconds.
Sure, you may.
And I remember my mom used to say, you need to tell your friends to not call here until after 5.
Now, when I remember the smart daughter that I have, she's just such a genius. Now, the other one was remember they did it to where as your incoming calls were free.
Oh,
This
okay.
this child checks my phone. Lord, nobody gets you like your kids. I swear for God.
Mhm.
Nobody do
They
you
know how to
dirtier.
push those buttons.
Nobody do you dirtier than your kids. I get a bill for over $500, right?
Oh,
I'm trying to figure out. Now I'm doing my seconds. No, this chick takes my phone and she's just calling people. I'm like, all you had to do was tell them to call you back. The freaking call would have been free. But y'all kids too busy sneaking doing what y'all want to freaking do. Look at this bill. I,
Mm.
I, wa- I was like, and then plus they had the walkie-talkie. Remember the little black phone was the phone, and was the walkie-talkie at the same time.
Yeah, I remember.
So I was like, that's all they. Oh, take care, Wanda.
Take
I'm like,
care.
I'm like, that's all they had to do. But these kids, but I still have that same feeling. Please, if you want to get to minute number 2, you better get what you got to get out, baby, now.
Yeah, I
If
hate
you need
and
something,
and one of the things that I had to learn too is that you got to learn not only who to pick up the phone for, because you know when certain people call what are they calling, what do they usually call for. You got to learn that, okay, I'm gonna let that one go to voicemail. But also you got to learn, like, you got to ask for stuff too, because that's a thing that most of the time people who are givers, we really don't receive.
see, for me,
Givers don't,
um,
givers don't receive that much because most of the time you're too busy being so kind that, I don't know, people don't think, oh, they're so nice and you're always doing for others, but most of the time people don't reciprocate and give back to you the way you put things out there for them.
see, for me, I don't ask. Like the only time I might ask, that's if that's because I was forced to ask, and it's never for me. That's because like now I'm getting ready to do like a health fair, so of course I have to ask, people to come out, and do you know people that might want to come? See, that would probably be the only asking that you would get from me.
Okay.
I tell you, even when I had the operation, even when I was sick, I didn't even press the bell. I got my way up to that bathroom on my own. They were like, "Miss, you're supposed to set the bell." I'm like, "Leave me alone." And they were like, well, "You could have asked. You could have asked." I'm just not an asker, but I know sometimes you do have to ask. You do, but mainly if I ask, it would be for the betterment of people. It's like nothing like permanent. But I know for a fact that God got a way. He got a way of saying, "Girl, I'm gonna put you in a predicament." I'm like, "Lord, please don't put me in a predicament where I have to ask people, because you might as well just like take me out of just take me on out of here then." But I don't mind being the giver, because that means I only could give because God gave it to me to give. So I don't mind being the giver. But you also got to know when to stop, so
Mhm.
people will know. Okay, she we, when you take stuff away from people, that's when they learn how to act right. I'm not that
Yeah.
dumb. Don't take advantage. Don't think people who are givers are gullible and it's stupid. God just made them givers. I know
Well,
how
but
to.
you got to know when it's time to pull back,
Yeah,
because look
exactly.
what L. Nixon said. People get so used to dumping their issues on you that they don't even say, "I'm sorry. How are you doing?"
Yeah, but
As soon as you pick up the phone, they're
yeah,
ready.
yeah.
Oh
You
my
gotta
goodness.
learn, know how to know when to take their privileges away. See, giving
Hmm.
somebody they don't understand. That's a privilege. I
Yeah.
can now when I take them privileges away from you, either you're gonna have to bother somebody else, or B, you're gonna come back with some act right. Or you could just go and do what you're gonna do, but it just won't be from me. But sometimes you have to, just like little kids, you gotta take their privileges away. Cause
Yeah.
they will take people will take pure, and I don't even think people understand how toxic they are, just by constantly. People don't even, like, we may have a check in our mind, check and balances of how much we have given, but I don't think the takers do. They take so much from people, they don't realize it. It's crazy. And they never stop to think, because they're so busy taking so much, they never stop to think, well, you know what, let me do something nice for somebody. And you can always tell them people, because them people are the ones on Facebook, and they be, my family don't care about me. So as long as I see them type of posts, I know you're a taker. and somebody told you
Yeah.
no. Somebody
See,
told
let
you
me show you
no.
something. Look at right there. See what
What?
it says?
No.
It says on punishment.
Ah! I gotta show you mine. Say it says do not answer. For some people name I got do not answer. We are
Yep.
we are hip to the
Boy,
hip for
I
some
am.
reason.
I'm
We
sorry.
are,
I'm so Aquarius. I'm sorry.
and I'm your polar opposite.
I
I'm your
know. I'm so
so,
okay. I can't help it because
oh my god.
yeah, I put it in the phone. Like I put people on punishment. I put it in my phone.
Oh
So
my
if you
goodness.
on punishment, I'm not gonna answer it.
That I put my for some people names I changed it to do not answer, right? And, and then for my son father, right? So I didn't realize, you know how when the phones did the voicemail I, but they used to say it out loud.
Mm-hmm.
So I had him as 666, right? So one day I'm at a meeting, they said calling from 666. I said everybody stopped and looked at me. I said, God, I said, how did this happen? I had him at 666
Oh my
Lucifer.
goodness.
And they looked at me, they like, damn, I ain't never getting you mad. You put people number. I'm
Yeah,
like,
you put them on. Ooh,
yeah,
that's a good one.
caller ID done blew me up, boy. I'm at a meeting. Everybody stopped and looked. I said, God damn it.
Yeah.
He don't never call, but he sure picked this time to call, right? So everybody could see what I got him in my phone as.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's what I'm saying. I got all kinds of fun. One day I'm gonna make a video and I'll show y'all my reel of my all my contacts. I got all kind of crazy stuff in my phone that I put.
Oh my God, we are so much the same. It's crazy. It is crazy. We do dumb shit, but it make us laugh, right?
Yeah.
She
Yeah, but
got
we're
all
real
punishment.
though.
She got all punishment. I like that.
Yeah. You better put people on punishment. Better
So
protect your sanity.
I was see my camera is pushing out. I'm about to pull it out. I'm like pulling it out. But I got do not answer. I see a do not answer because and I'm like and I don't even put their name there. It doesn't matter what the name is. It don't matter who you are. If I put do not answer at that moment, whomever you are is means do not answer. Right. But I'm glad the phone stopped doing that.
Well, my phone, one time I was out and I had it and it said call from on punishment.
That's what I said. But I said 666. I said shit.
And I had to hurry up. I grabbed my phone. I was at work and everybody was laughing. I said,
Oh,
Jericho's on punishment. Mm,
I'm like God got a. They say he got a funny way to him. I'm like the rest of this week is supposed to be nice. I think today is like the last day, and this with this heavy. This boy got to go get my medicine. I didn't get my stuff for my nose. I don't like to spray nothing in my nose though.
yeah, I know.
I'm gonna have to do what I got to do because Jesus. And then
I know.
and then I bought all my little shots. I got my ginger shot, my green shots, my turmeric shots.
Oh,
I
I
didn't
thought you was talking about other greens.
no, no. Certain things was just never for me. It was just never for me.
Yeah.
Certain things.
Well, I'm gonna bounce out of here.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah, we're gonna bounce out of here. We've been rolling here for 3 hours, sis.
I tell you we could do that. What I
We could
suppose.
we could do another 2 hours, but yeah.
No, we could come back. Oh wait, but before I want to speak to you behind, so you can just fill me on this daggone podcast thing,
Oh
because I
yeah,
can see.
I'll hit you after I end. So
Uh
thanks
huh.
everybody for coming by. I'll see you guys
Wait,
next
hold up.
Wednesday.
He said, "Y'all just don't know. You ladies are giving me a message right now. That's our job, Nixon, and we thank you. We appreciate that.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
That is what our show, what our whole show is all about. And I'm glad you enjoyed it, Voice
I'm
of
glad you
Reason.
enjoyed it, and it's good to see you, Al Nixon.
And make sure you come back.
Yeah.
and hit that like.
Yeah, hit that like.
And the
Appreciate
word.
y'all.
You have a
Yeah, the
blessed
word.
day.
Yep. Thank y'all. I'll see y'all next week, Wednesday, same time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Bye.